Animal organs dumped out onto the highway.
The fuck it is!
I couldn't speak over Nari freaking the fuck out.
I
How about answer the question, Nari? Instead of going, wait, it's still going on, and it's still got the thing, and the thing, and the thing. Yes, but what is it? It's the thing that happened, and it's still going on, and it's still a thing. Holy fuck!
My favorite thing is that's exactly when I unmuted Wallfly was for Cyntari to freak out. Oh, that's great. We need that clipped, and we need it clipped stat.
Oh yeah, we do.
So about F-bombs in the first minute.
Fuck it.
Oh yes, our video that's totally monetized is going to get demonetized.
Yeah.
Soundscream, you could just start you could just edit the video and start with just a solid 30 seconds of you going, so before we start today's video, here's some context y'all need for this.
What makes it even better is that I have the stream on and I forgot to mute the stream, so I heard it twice.
You heard it twice? Perfect. You needed to.
Did it sink in?
Yes.
No,
it
did not.
Oh,
delay.
okay. We're gonna pin this down after the session. We'll pop into another channel, and I'll make sure you get plenty.
All right, I'll make sure to give you the proper admin so you can pull up the dry erase board.
And just to point out how much, never mind.
Fluorescent colors. Yep.
Here's a laser pointer. What's that for? To point out my mistakes? No, to blind you.
Nari, stop sniffing the markers.
She's got him shoved up her nose and just leaves him there, just wedged in there, so she can just always breathe it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Hey,
you'll just always.
that's me.
Perfect. All right. Looks like we've got. Do we have everybody in roll 20? No, we do not. You hate it.
I am on my way.
You had one job, Doc. Oh,
It is loading.
You already unloaded. Now you're reloading? We just went over this. You were stuck on the toilet.
Love your sin.
Hi.
Cyntari's always so happy to be here.
No, here's you want some update? Hey, Wallfly, listen to this. So I've recently discovered something about myself. Not only do I have a deviated septum causing a chronic sinusitis issue, creating a lot of head pressure, cleared that up, got that taken care of. Other issue was I have tension in my back. Take muscle relaxers. Man, those muscle relaxers were fucking me up. I didn't realize how bad it was. Like, I would get these sensations like I was restless, and I could only attribute it to the feeling that, hey, your muscles want to do something. Hey, the muscle relaxers are telling your muscles not to do something. Repeat that for an hour over and over again. Tell me how uneasy you feel.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've been off of muscle relaxers, so I'm kind of like, hey, you know that high-strung college me used to know Sound Scream?
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah.
Is he a fun guy or?
He can be, but he can be kind of intense.
One guy?
Oh, it's some of the rants.
Man. Oh, shit.
Oh, man, you should have heard me in World of Warcraft raiding. Everybody knew I hated them.
Yes.
And you know what? I was a raid leader, promoted to officer by the guild leader. Because I was the only one that actually opened up their goddamn mouth to criticize all the goddamn morons who would not move out of the fucking fire!
Were you like the more Dutch guy?
And
yes.
We're back to Cyntari screaming.
Oh, goodness. All right, Sin, we'll go hang out after this tonight and get it thrown out of a subway again.
You want to get touched?
Cyntari, are you good, my man? You sound like you got a lot of aggression in you today.
Well, this is going to be fun.
Hey, Soundscream, how much aggression did I have in college before I actually learned how to calm down?
Let's just say I always had a hotkey to turn off TeamSpeak.
Yes, he did.
No.
Legitimately muted me, and he forgot to unmute me several times. It was apparent that he had that button.
Yeah, I totally
Tonight,
forgot.
Abraham is going to be a barbarian, or?
No, he's just gonna have a stroke. Grampy's stroking out again.
Someone put him on the defibrillator. Someone get shocking hands just to wake up Abraham.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Awesome.
You
No,
get
I'm
shocking
all over the
hands and
place.
have it. You get a spell stone. Give it to the raven, so he just sits on your shoulder, ready to shock you back into rhythm.
Can I use Thunderwave instead?
Yes, that's incredibly accurate.
You don't know how accurate that is.
All right, let's get this thing started. Let's get things kicked off here.
Shit.
Yeah, let's.
So, where are my notes? I know I have them. Where? How do I lose this every freaking week? I'm not very good at this.
Yeah, you're right. You're not very good
Last
at
time we left off.
You shut up. You're not being helpful.
Okay.
this. Who of us?
Me.
Who among us has been?
Yes.
None of you.
Please don't say Among Us.
That's kind of sus.
When last we left our heroes, Nate, the human ranger, Gobs, the auto-gnome hexblade, Othokent, the lizard folk life domain cleric, and Abraham Grissom, the human wizard. Our friends had finally made it to the sales level. Once in the sales level, they did some scouting around and finally figured out where the professor, Marius Potemkin's, apartment was. And through some clever use of spells, were able to gain entry into the balcony to open the unlocked front door. After doing some searching about, they found his journal, which contained several pieces of information that were very helpful to our dear friend Nate, along with the information of who had actually taken Talah, who had recovered Talah, and where Talah was. In addition to that, there's evidence that some type of ice creature showed up and did something very nasty to Mr. Potemkin. So his... Sorry about that. So his death was not natural, not an accident. It was definitely murder. And an item was left that in some way, shape, or form will help our group get to the Fey realm or get Talah from the Fey realm. Either or. So we pick up. They went down back to the mass level, and they all went to... Where did you guys go? You guys went to
We went to Othokent's because he has
Othokent's
the
place.
room.
And I got some samples taken of my arm, and that went real well.
Real well. I was real happy with how it turned out. So, and I believe we all bedded down for the evening. So we will wake up that following morning.
I believe I got a bunch of like surveillance stuff put on me. You know, blood pressure stuff and stuff like that.
Gobs is under observation as it is.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put myself on push to talk.
Oh, that's the wrong city map. How about
How
we go
nice.
to the actual
I was
city
getting
map?
excited.
Yeah. You guys
You could
wake up in
teleport.
the capital.
Huh?
I'm gonna play Magellan.
No, you're not. He's mine now. Besides, he's dead.
Maitland turned evil.
No, Maitland
Mason
didn't, but
dead?
his 3 sons did.
Yeah, May, G, and Lin.
Lynn's a real bastard, let me tell you. He's a curly mustache and everything.
He really hates that girl's name.
Yep.
The
Got
other
called
one's
Linda
name's
one
Ashley,
too many
Goes
times.
by Ash. He's got a chainsaw for a hand.
Hey, you know,
Yeah.
hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king.
All right, so who's waking up first?
Not it.
That would be probably Abraham because he's got to go to the bathroom. He was actually up before everybody else.
All the magic in the universe, and we still can't fix the damn prostate.
Bladder.
This is why I don't pay my taxes. They don't do
You
anything for
can't
me.
fix my bladder. They can fix the
Amazing.
street, but not my pipes.
Turning into like Grandpa Popeye. What's Popeye's dad's name? I can't remember it.
Oh, I don't know.
But
Last time I had a plumber look at my pipes, I got a water heater installed instead. It's just even warmer.
I do appreciate the steam.
Now I gotta put in a work order when my pilot light goes out.
All right, so
Fuck.
Abraham, you get up first in the morning. What are you doing other than peeing?
Preparing some
Getting
strong...
poop. You peed.
Yes, 'cause
There,
that's what the coffee
Nari.
is for. I need the coffee for that. So I'm gonna get some coffee. I'm gonna get some dry biscuits if I can find some. I don't know, whatever Otho has, but I got coffee in my herbalism kit, so that's something I'm going to take care of.
I just picture Othokent gets up and sees you in the middle of the hallway, right outside the observation rooms, and you've.
I'm not
created
wearing my robe because
Yeah.
I just woke up. I'm in my loincloth, all
Yeah.
spindly.
Yeah, and you're just sitting on the floor, and you've got like a butane fire going to make coffee. He's like, "There's a coffee maker, like literally around the corner. What are you
Ish.
doing?"
Wait,
Making coffee.
are
I
you
thought it was
telling
pretty
me-
apparent. Making coffee.
Are you telling me he looks like a Dark Souls 1 character straight out of character creation?
Maybe.
Excellent.
Just loincloth and gaunt.
I'm Slav squatting right in front of everybody.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, let's. So, anything? Seriously, is there anything that you want to do?
I didn't discuss this with you, and this may require me to send you a message because you may have to think about this answer.
Okay. Which isn't my strong point, so.
Well, what's the name of that?
And no one
spell?
disagrees.
I did not expect them to.
That's it. That's the name of the spell. Okay, hang on a second.
As if any of us are better. Aside from John. John is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it tell you who it is that's going to respond?
No, because illusory script just allows me to hide a message inside of another message, and the intended person that I indicate when I'm writing this can read it, and everybody else can't unless they have true seeing
Okay, so
other things that negate illusion.
So where are you going to post these things?
I want to post a message, kind of there was never established how I received the return letters or return messages. So
Okay, so we'll put a button on that because I need to look more into it. But you can definitely start that process.
I'm thinking about doing that, and that's what I'm chewing on as I'm cooking or getting my coffee ready, and also want to copy Levitate into my spellbook.
Okay. Do you have the required paper, ink, and
I do not need
spent the
ink.
gold?
I have the magic quill that I produce as part of being an Order of the Scribes.
Okay.
And the magic spell book that I have provides me all the paper I need to do because because as you described it, it's always got more pages.
Right.
So, but I need I don't negate the dollar amount or gold amount required for it, which is just representative of the materials I would use and need to replace. That dollar amount is what per level of spell?
It's like 50 gold per level, if I remember correctly. If it's a spell that's in your school, and then it's double if it's not in your school. And that's off the top of my head, but I could look it up if you really want me to.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm just trying to make the website work. And that's what I want to do. So I'm occupying myself with that. If somebody else feels like I would wake up in that time.
2 hours and 50 gold per spell level.
It's 2 minutes for me
Mm-hmm.
because it's I replace that hour with 1 minute for me.
Okay. So at what level is levitate?
2, level 2.
2.
And I can even
All
cast
right,
it.
yeah. So 2 minutes. So 2 minutes.
2 minutes and 20 gold pieces.
Why would it be 20 instead of
Because it says-
100?
Because it says 10 GP. I'm like looking at the. Oh, that's replacing spellbook. I'm looking at the wrong section. Yep, 20. So
Yeah.
take.
It's 50 gold per level in 2 hours. So in your case, it's 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And yeah, 2 minutes per level. So 4 minutes and 100 gold.
Got it.
Cool.
So I will spend that time.
Go for it.
So anybody else want to wake up that time? That's up to them.
All right. Let's say Othokent, you're the next person to awake.
All right.
You see Abraham making coffee and writing in his book.
Did not mean to put a nothing spell in chat. Sorry.
Ah, good morning, Abraham.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Just sorry to use your space like this.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Real quick, Sen, are you doing that? Are you putting the spell in by hand? You can just search for it and pull it in and drop it into your spell book. And roll 20.
Did the bed treat you well, or do I need to acquire more pillows for next time?
Oh, I take no. What would he say? He would say something like, "Oh, I'm used to sleeping hard. It doesn't even bother me anymore. My bones creak. They just creak."
I do suppose that comes with age, but just make sure you're comfortable. Well, I'll get some breakfast started for all of us.
Excellent. The next person to wake up as he begins to smell food would be Nate.
Yay. Getting up. Get dressed.
So, Nate, you can smell the breakfast and hear all of that, or smell all of that, but you also still have lingering. It's almost like, you know how sometimes you'll eat something, right? And then you'll kind of have the aftertaste of what you ate, kind of stuck in your mouth for a while. You have an after smell of Fey type scent stuck in your nose from the dowsing rod that was left.
Yeah. That I most likely have been looking at for quite a while before falling asleep.
Yep. So yeah, you've got you can smell the bacon and eggs and the fresh brewed coffee and all of that deliciousness. But there's still that aftertaste, that after smell stuck in your nose, in your nostrils of Fey.
Yeah. So as I'm dressed, I'm gonna take out the dowsing rod again and look at it.
As far as you can tell, it's just it's a type of wood, especially with you growing up in the forest and your parents being so entwined with woodworking. You've seen most kinds of wood. You've never seen this kind of wood. So there's something different about it. You would need an Arcana check or a really high nature check to know what this is. But you can attempt it if you'd like.
Yeah.
What'd we get? Yeah, it's wood. It's definitely wood.
It is wood, all right. Yeah. So I will give it a tap and a think, and then take it with me down to the breakfast table.
As you tap it on the ground, I need you to roll a strength check.
Well, I did mean to tap it in my hand, but sure.
Okay, that's fine. In your hand works too. Strength check.
Check. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're able to control your strength. So if you rolled in that one, something funny was going to happen. But
No.
no, you just tap it like normal.
Good. Roscoe token. Nice. Just gonna go down or over to the rest of them. Good morning.
Ah, good morning, Nathaniel.
Have you slept well?
I have slept quite fine personally.
Sounds good. How about
How
you,
about-
Abraham?
Oh, I slept just fine.
Oh,
hey,
coffee.
Oh, you wanted some? I'll make some more. He busies himself with making another cup.
You know, I should probably go and get Gobx unhooked from all the observational equipment. I'll be right back. Could you keep
Oh,
an eye on the eggs, Nathaniel?
Sure.
As Othokent walks off.
Eggs and bacon. Yeah.
All right. I need a cooking tools check from Nathaniel.
Oh no. I don't have that.
Then it's a straight wisdom check, buddy.
At least wisdom is something I'm good at, but let's see. Hey, yeah.
Oh man,
Nice.
yeah, your eggs over easy, perfectly cooked, didn't break a yolk. Perfect use of a nat 20. Good job, man. We're proud of you.
Isn't
Yeah.
that his second nat 20 on cooking?
Mhm.
No, I
it
had
is.
the first one.
I think
Yeah.
so.
No, that right. So cooking's the one thing you guys do better than anything else. I'm very It's something
Nathaniel's
inside of me
hype
makes me
for
real happy about
eggs
that.
and bacon just shines through.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens the third time, you get free proficiency.
Yes, exactly. We'll do that. I'll roll with that. All right. So you guys, breakfast is done, and you guys are all eating, and that's when you realize that Gobs is not up yet.
Didn't Otho go?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you were going to check or going to wake her up?
Well, I'm going to unhook all the observational equipment, all of that, so she can get out of the bed.
When you look at everything, she's just fine, right? When you look at the records, nothing out of the ordinary happened. As far as the stats and everything, you can tell by the way that the bed is kind of turned. There was a lot of tossing and turning last night. It was sleep, but it wasn't super restful.
Hmm.
I'm not giving you like exhaustion. It's just you're in character wise, you didn't sleep well.
I'm sorry, who did you say that to? I missed
You.
the first bit of that. Me. Okay.
You.
Cool. Got it. Let's see, Otho is in the room, or did I wake up before him getting in there?
Say that again.
Did I wake up before Otho getting in, or is he in the room right now? Just
He's in the room. I'll say you probably wake up as he's unhooking like the blood pressure cuff from your arm and some of the heart monitoring sensors.
Probably the sensation of being touched woke you up.
all
Yep.
right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You
How's
have slept
everything?
terribly.
Yeah. Is everything? Well, it's not normal, but is everything fine?
Well, all things considered, with your rough past and whatever might ail you that I don't know, from a medical standpoint, you are quite fine. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Maybe you need a bit more potassium, but that can be taken care of.
Right. I'll be out in a moment.
Take your time. No need to rush. We'll take it easy. We're down in the common area. We've made breakfast and coffee. And Ofo leaves.
All right.
All right.
With him gone, she's just slowly gonna get up and get dressed. In sort of the not a lazy teenager way, but you get the idea. Like
Yeah,
I
like
had a bad night and I'm sort of dragging myself around.
Right. No, I get it. So, everybody else is about halfway through breakfast whenever Gobs makes it downstairs. Or down there.
Yeah. Otho's house is now 2-story.
You know what? It has as many stories as it needs to for the story.
Story.
At some point, it's just gonna be like, so in Ofo's hospital.
In his research lab. In his student hospital.
in his
anyways.
medical conglomerate. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Okay, is there anything you guys would like to discuss or talk about over breakfast, or just going to eat and prepare for the day?
Well, I imagine we're all kind of collecting our thoughts about what happened. This is a real final chance to relax after an adventure that many of us probably have never taken in our lives, or a similar one. So, I think, what is our plan? I mean, we need to see Chariotto, right? Like, ultimately?
Yes, we need to get paid.
Right. We need to get paid so we can save Gob's mother, which I imagine that's going to go swimmingly. So...
And we should possibly use the dowsing rod.
Yes, but let's try to solve some of our earthly matters before going off on some possible trip to another realm.
Of course. I feel so much better today than yesterday.
Good.
Almost relieved.
Well, I do need to go and buy some or requisition more med kits. I ate through quite a lot of my supplies during the last couple of days.
All right, so it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. So where are you going first? What are you doing first?
How
can try
would we get a hold of him? Yeah.
He's got a
John.
room at the Rose and Compass, or the Compass Rose.
So probably a good idea to head there.
I'm just quickly gonna buy some healers kits on the way.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you can stop by just a general store would have those.
Yes.
So if there's nothing else you're really looking for, we can just say on the way you grab. Let's say they have 3 in stock.
Good. I'll take all 3.
All right. Good deal. Thanks you and hands them off to you. So it's kind of early, so you're probably the first person to come in that morning.
Great.
And then, but yeah, you're able to go to the Compass Rose without too much of an issue. I will say, I know he didn't specify it back in the episode when we did that, but he would have told you which room he's in and all that good stuff.
Capital.
Makes sense.
So he's on the 3rd floor, in one of the 3 penthouse rooms is where he's at. So is that where we're headed next?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, as a group, you guys are able to get up there just fine, and and yeah, knock on the door, I assume.
Yeah. No, kick it in. No.
Okay, fine. Just you guys aren't telling me what you're doing, so I'm just like, okay. So what are we doing? All right. So you guys get up there and you knock on the door. Chariotto answers. Oh, hello there. Come in. He ushers you in. There is kind of a foyer because this room is big enough for that. It does have a little bit of a balcony that the doors are actually open. You can tell that the bed hasn't really been slept in because he doesn't really sleep. But yeah. He's like, come in, everyone. Have a seat. What can I do for you?
All right.
I'm
So
having
we
too much
come in.
fun.
Yeah.
Good day, sir.
That would have been a half gold Nexus. You could have gotten it there as well.
Sounds good.
All right.
It just went by a bit quick.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So, gentlemen, what can I do for you? And lady.
Well, we agreed to get you a thing, yeah?
Oh, you were able to make it to the sales level.
Well, we certainly got the thing. So yeah,
You have evidence that he was killed?
I'd say so. Give me a moment. And she pulls up her phone, fills with it, and shows the picture of the chalk outline, the thing in front of it. I mean, this looks suspicious, right? Like footsteps sort of cracked in the wood, right in front of a chalk outline, right inside the door.
Yes, definitely does.
Fey and Frost energy.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's moderately understandable with his particular area of research. So you believe some type of frost-based Fey entity killed him?
Seems likely, yeah.
Do we have...
Also, who had the journal?
I do. I would have been probably trying to read it if I ever had time, but we were kind of like discussing stuff and breakfast. And
If we had thought about it, we could have taken copies of it.
could have. Yeah, we probably could have. I was busy arguing with Neri.
This is his journal. Do we know a motivation potentially behind this death?
Well, if you turn to to the last page where it says the thing about the agent.
Okay. Ah, the Heart of Winter. Interesting. Well, now here's the confusing part to me. How? Why would they stonewall me over this?
Maybe someone's got dog in the game. Got a
Yes.
dog in the game. Got dog in the game. What's the phrase? Abraham, you're smart.
He's having a dog in the fight.
That's
Dog
the
fight. It's a dog fighting term. It's for gambling.
Yeah, that.
Hmm. Perhaps I will go have a conversation with Captain Burge. It's odd that he would keep me from investigating this and seemingly overlook such an obvious murder scene. Anyways, what was the amount that we had agreed upon for payment?
Well, we had agreed that you'd help me bail my mom out from that situation, and he was asking for 10,000, but as we talked about, he's the type of person who will likely see that amount and then jack it up.
All right. So are you wanting me to come with you to resolve this or just hand you the money?
We would like for you to come with us.
All right. I can do so. Are we ready to proceed there now? Have you had breakfast?
Abraham, do you think they'll even let us in with them in tow?
I don't care.
He's gonna get there. His money with him in tow, or we're going to go in there with him in tow and get your mom. Those are the two choices.
All right, fair enough. I mean,
I don't like bullies.
I don't either.
I just hope he's treated your mom well enough in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do to him wouldn't matter what he did.
All right. Well, he stands up and he walks over and opens a very strange looking backpack and checks a pocket and goes, "Yep, I've got enough. Shall we go?"
Yeah. Let's.
And he puts that backpack over his shoulder and just lead away, gentlemen and lady. I don't know where we're going.
All right. Follow along.
I presume Gobx will be taking the lead since it's the sort of underbelly.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay, sorry, somebody walked up to my desk. What's up?
You guys are leaving and going to where you're going.
And what was your
We're
question?
going to the Elephant Man.
What was your question, Soundscream? What did you need me to acknowledge?
I
Thought
don't
you
believe.
asked something. Okay.
Don't remember asking, but that doesn't mean I did not.
I just checked.
All right, so it takes you guys about a half hour to walk across to the downward spiral to the bilge. You get to the front door, and it has the same similar two guards. It's kind of hard to tell them apart, right? Because they all kind of look the same. But the similar two guards up front. Bar's closed.
We got you. Sorry. I'm not that character anymore. Somebody else talk to him.
Did they just say the words "boss closed" or?
Yeah,
Bar is closed.
bar's closed.
We're not here for the bar.
Who you here for?
We're here to talk to the boss. We have money for him.
Here to settle a tab.
Which boss?
Big tusky one.
What's his name?
Let me just check my notes here.
Part of me wants to say, like, why? You having trouble remembering?
Do it.
Me, the player, do, yeah.
Say it, Abraham.
No, I'm not that character. This is like if I was playing a different character, I can think of all sorts of different ways to respond, but Abraham wouldn't say stuff like that.
Are you sure?
Well, he's not provoked right now. He's just cranky.
True.
So my notes just say elephant guy. Don't like him.
Let me pull up
I
my
never
notes.
put down the name.
Same.
I got
I don't
it.
have
I
a
got
name
it.
either.
Nice, Sin. MVP.
Let's see. That was.
So I think it's kind of in character that Gobs probably didn't bite into his name too much.
I don't think that's a name. See, that's not from that section of the game. Okay. Apparently, I don't have it either. Thought I did.
Okay.
Do
So
we have
how
any
would
group
you?
notes?
How do we respond?
Give me a moment. I'm going through. I might have put down somewhere else. My notes are spread out. For whatever
We've
reason.
got a couple bosses here. Which one are you trying to say?
Do you have several Loxodon bosses?
Maybe. If
You
you're really doing a job for them, then you would know who they are, wouldn't you?
No, I guess I would then. I guess I'll just take all this money with me. They don't want it, they can't have it. Then bye. Come on, friends. these jackasses won't let us in here. We'll just move on with our lives, and they can just lose out on all this stuff. They can explain to their bosses why they didn't get what they wanted. They can be on them to not have what.
I mean, 10,000 gold is just chump change after all. Who needs that kind of money?
I mean, we'll just find somebody else to buy this thing. I mean, we're just going to use them as a fence, but this. Just...
Yeah, I don't have that fucking name anywhere.
All right, stay here. And one of them goes walking inside. About 5 or 6 minutes later, he comes up and goes, "All right, Eldridge will see you. Hopefully, he's the one you're looking for, because if not, it's not going to be a good day for you."
Yeah, I'm glad that you have some concern for us, jackass.
Did you say Eldridge or what was it, the name?
It's Eldridge. Here, I'll put it in.
So like the type of magic, Eldritch. Oh, not like that. Okay.
Like Eld and Ridge.
So, you are escorted by a single individual down to the lower level. Same pathway as before, same room as before. And as you come in, you do see Eldridge sitting across the way from you, sitting at his desk, and you can see Gob's mom off to his right, sitting in a chair. She's kind of looking down, kind of bashful. She's not tied up or anything like that. "Well, now, I like it when somebody pays early. Have you come to pay off the debt?"
Oh, you mean the extortion charge?
"Call it what you want, old one.
Weird.
The point is, I have something you want, and you have something I want. So, money, and then the debt's paid."
Gobs is gonna look towards the what the fuck is his name?
Galietto.
Chariotto?
Chariotto. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, okay. Mr. Luxodon, I believe the amount that's owed is 10,000. Is that correct? "Yeah, shiny face man. You got it?" "Of course." He sets his satchel down and reaches into one of the pouches on the side and pulls out a very large, much bigger than could fit in the bag, sack, and drops a sack with 1,000 platinum pieces on it right in front of him. "Well, that should suffice. I believe the debt is paid, and you no longer have any hold over dear Gob's mother. Is that correct?" He takes the bag and he hands it to Gob's mom. "Check it." And she looks in and she goes, "Yeah, it's all here." And then she smiles.
Knew it!
Yeah, you see, I told you. I told you she was stupid. I told you it would be the easiest money we ever made. As you say, boss. As you say.
I am going to escalate things in a dramatic manner.
Okay.
Magic missile.
On who?
On the mom.
You're going to shoot the mom.
I'm going to shoot the mom.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Roll your damage. Gobs, as you're standing there and you see your mother smile and look into the bag and say what she said, as she looks up at you with a smirk on her face, she is suddenly riddled with magic missile bolts that you've seen before, and she falls to the floor bleeding, and she is unconscious.
Get the bag and let's get out of here. More for you, Loxodon, if you move.
I
Mr. Grissom, what the heck?
don't
That's
think
still Gob's mom.
I don't think she's going to react. Just more shocked.
Did she act like a mother to you?
Othokent has bent over and grabbed the now bleeding goblin.
Okay.
And
No
he should,
mother would behave like
Loxodon.
this. Might as well abandon this witch.
I agree, but you should have shut the Loxodon first.
Time for that now. I'm waiting for the GM to be able to set things up. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're just talking while he's preparing stuff. So I don't want to do too much.
Yeah, I didn't expect this. Give me just a second.
You're playing with us, you should expect dumbass shit all the time.
So, what happened? A couple things are going to happen. First and foremost, where'd those stats go? I actually saved them on him. That would have made my life easier if I did that, so I probably didn't. Ooh, I did. So just to make this easy, the second Gobs is mom.
Can we put a dot on them?
Yeah.
I could do that.
The double dot is mom. So you already said you were going over there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there's the map.
Playing
Oh,
the
it was
part
just a black
of the
screen.
Loxodon for now is going to be this hobgoblin. Just so you guys know where he's at.
Sexy.
He's big. Less big.
But still big.
All right. So before you can do anything, Chariotto is going to move to here and say, Now, an agreement was made, an agreement shall be had. No more violence is done here. Am I clear?
Fine.
Abraham's just glowering.
Abraham, are we clear?
What do you intend, construct?
I intend that we are leaving as soon as our friend over here finishes helping the goblin to her feet. This is not how we do things.
Yes, well, we were being ripped off. She was part of it to steal the money. She was never a prisoner.
It does not matter. It wasn't your money. It was mine. You did a job to clear, to give that with the intent of giving them the money. The money has been given. The exchange is equitable. Do you disagree?
I disagree with them.
That's fine, but you will not trample upon my good word and my good name at this point. What you choose to do when we are no longer associated with another is your business.
Fine.
But this will not happen here and now in my presence.
Agreed.
So, Gobs, are we bringing your mother?
Gobs has a
quick,
very blank expression.
Othokent, are you healing? Are you using your medical kit? What are you doing?
I'm just gonna use a charge of my healer's kit.
Okay. Go ahead and do so.
Yeah, I do. She is technically at 1 hit point.
She shakes on me and goes, "Get off me, you lizard."
No. We paid to get you out of here. So we're getting you out of here.
I'm not leaving my office.
Oh, but we had a deal.
You paid 10,000 for my freedom. I'm free. Now get out and take that thing with you.
That thing?
Give me an insight check. She did a head nod towards the now catatonic Gobs. First time it's ever been worth anything to me.
Oh, and I'm sure you've been worth plenty to her, huh?
I don't care.
Oh, I do realize that.
Do you? You don't even know what it is, do you?
It's a goblin. It is
No,
Gobs.
it's not. No, it's not. Just thinks it's a goblin.
So?
Get out before I call all of my people.
Alright, I'll get out.
And don't come back. Any of you.
Yeah, and stay out of our business in the future, too.
I see your face. The next thing you'll see is magic missiles.
Yeah, you see my face every day, moron.
It's prettier over here.
Yeah, well, it stole it from me.
You're the
At
one
least
that
there's-
gave it to her.
At least
I
this one
didn't
has
keep-
morals.
I didn't give it anything.
Yeah, we realize, but we're going. Bye.
All the good things in her didn't come from you, that's for sure, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, let's go before she calls all of her people and gets us murdered. She can't do it herself. Let's go.
I'll just shoot her before she can. We
No,
already
no.
know how effective that is.
Nate has been writing, by the way, just
Oh, sorry.
so everyone's aware.
Okay.
I'm currently role-playing being catatonic, so I'm not
So-
saying anything.
So Nate, so as you guys, I'm assuming it's one of those, you pull the arrow and you've got it knocked as you guys are backing out of the room? Or are you actually going to fire?
No, there was something Nate reacted to when Gobx was being called a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Understandable.
he was just aiming as he was standing there while they were talking.
Okay, all right, but you don't lose, correct? All right. So
yeah.
you guys, there are people walking with you, like at a distance, right? You know, doing that. We're escorting you, but we're not gonna like grab you or come within. You got a bubble around you, kinda, and you guys are escorted out.
I have a question. Is someone pulling or otherwise leading Gobs? Because he is not responsive.
Oh, Abraham, if nobody else does anything, Abraham would have been like, come on now. No,
Abraham is the one-
It's okay, come on.
Abraham
Gobs,
is the one
would
with
have just picked Gobs up.
Gobs.
Whoever
Yep.
you decide gets to Gobs first.
Okay, Gobs. I need you to do a history check for me.
Coming right up.
With advantage.
Oh, that still has the
Yeah.
exhaustion thing on it. Let me
Yeah,
just-
so you,
just-
that's fine. And then I want you to do an insight check for me with advantage. So you're kind of in this weird catatonic state. You're not going to remember the trip out at all, as between Nate and Abraham slowly pulling you out, you're having like instant flashbacks. And what's strange about this is like you remember your mom and you remember her cooking for you, but it's not the face of the woman you just saw. Right? It's a familiar face, and there's facial traits that are the same, but not quite the face you saw. In fact, it kind of hits you. You remember you had that dream of that young goblin who had some black ichor being injected into her veins, right? You remember that vision?
Yep.
It's a little bit older version of that face. That's the face of your kind mother that you can remember. But then every time you remember being called it and being beaten and having things thrown at you and things like that. It's the face you just saw. It's the older version of the face that you see in the mirror every morning. You remember your mother's name is Beatrix, but you also remember your name is Milla, and when you remember saying your own name and that kind, not identical face to yours, being happy and excited that you were speaking. But then you remember saying your name was Milla and getting hit and beat and kicked down and being screamed at, saying that's not your name, that's my name. You quit taking things from me. Quit taking things from me. You just remember hearing that over and over again. Even at times when you would tuck your mother in, whenever she was, high off of her gourd and things like that, she would hear going, stop stealing. All you do is take. Stop it. Don't know who you are. Why are you here? No daughter of mine. And things like that. So all of that kind of runs through your brain, in your memories. But as you're running through them, you feel another set of eyes watching these memories. Like there's someone in your mind with you seeing these things transpose and move through. And all you know is that other presence remembers every single one of these moments too. And that's what's going to be going through your mind as our friends get you outside. Charietto says, well, I appreciate the work you've done for me, but please do not do that again, Mr. Abraham. You almost push things to the point where I would have to enforce law. And the last thing I want to do is to have to do that to my friends. I understand. While I cannot relate as I do not have the same emotions as you, I do understand why you respond that way with the way that she seemingly betrayed you and the familiar nature of it. So, I will pretend I saw nothing, though my brother would be very upset at me for hiding falsehoods, as he would put it. I will continue investigating what's going on with this captain, and I will let you know if I need your assistance further. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Abraham just kind of staring at him. Not at this time, no.
Well, I hope that despite any admonitions that I had to verbally construe, we can still be friends, and I will be staying here for quite some time, I believe. While, based off the notes and the intimate nature of things, I believe you will likely run into this creature that was the architect of the death of the professor. I will pursue things on this end of trying to find out who and why this has all been covered up. Good day, my friends. And he bows and walks away.
Bit of a presumptuous fellow.
This has probably been the most infuriating, especially now that I know what infuriating is, interactions I have ever had.
I'm gonna go get drunk. A day drunk sounds amazing right now.
9:30 in the morning, homie's getting tilted.
Mm-hmm.
Stay safe, Mr. Grissom.
Not the point of getting day drunk. Bye.
I'm coming with.
Please do. You need it more than I do.
All right, so Milla, Miss Gobs, and Abraham are going to go get day drunk. Is anybody else going to go with them?
Othokent tries to stay away from alcohol, so he's not gonna.
Nate,
Gonna
what are you
come as
doing, buddy?
the responsible one.
Does Nate still have that lingering Fey smell going on?
Yes, you would know specifically it's coming from the rod.
Yeah. No, I guess it must as much. It's just if it still lingers in the same way, so that
Yeah,
it's constantly on his mind.
It's constantly on your mind, correct?
Yeah. Okay. Then he will bring it up to Othokent.
That sounds slightly disconcerting.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to see what this Panos can help us with. What he has to say. I mean, he's related to those who helped Talah. Maybe he can. Maybe he knows something. Maybe he knows more about who killed Marius Potemkin.
Do you believe that that's our current best course of action?
I don't know. I just ever since I got the dowsing rod, it just keeps being on my mind, like it's poking at me.
But it almost seems like someone's trying to get your attention.
But now they've gone off to drink, which I understand and I am tempted too, but yeah, I don't know. Do you think it'll be awful for us to break the dowsing rod on our own?
Well, I believe we would get some answers for some certain things. Doing it without them seems hazardous to our potential health.
Yeah.
So, it is a tough decision. But also knowing the head start they've gotten on us and Gobx's tendency to drink, I think we'll already be in a terrible position if we try and convince them right now.
Yeah.
So this early in the morning, the only kind of places that are serving alcohol are the kind of places that are still open, not the ones that open early, if you catch my drift. So you guys find a dingy down by the edge of the docks, like down in... Here, let me get to the right screen so I can ping for you. It'd be like down over here, right, where the guys who work the night shift go and drink in the morning before going home. So it's dirty, it's cheap, and it is not going to take you too terribly long to get... Don't serve the week, if you catch the drift. So... Let's see. I need from both of you after a Constitution saving throw.
I think Gobx is with, but I don't think she's there to drink. That's
There
not
would be hard liquor in a shot form in front of Gobs, and a beer next to her as well. Whether she drinks it or not, that's upon Milla's choice. It's there, and that's what Abraham would be doing.
Sure.
He'd be bitching and dumping all of his stress and just talking and talking and talking and just letting Milla just sit there and process. And if she ever says anything, Abraham shuts up and just listens.
Okay. So then, Abraham, I need a con check.
Okay.
All right. So your first round, not a problem. You handle it just fine.
As we get loosened up, I'm just complaining and just bitching about how I don't like bullies and a variety of other things about society that has been irking Abraham for decades. If Milla wants to open up, she's feel free to.
Does Abraham stop, or does he just keep drinking?
It's a slow drink. It's like he's not going shot per shot per shot, back to back or anything like that. He's like, he'll start off with a shot, then he'll just have some beer. And, if he gets worked up, he may have another shot, but more likely to stick with some strong beer and just go that way. He's not going to get wasted. He's planning on being tipsy by noon and being able to walk out and just feeling like, yes, I'm not in a good position to make solid decisions, but I can walk. Kind of mood.
Gotcha. So let's go back to the other group then. Othokent and Nate, where are you guys headed? Are you going to try to track these bozos down, or are you going back to your office? What's the plan?
But in the end, if you ask me, I do believe our best choice, personally, is to wait for him.
I'm pretty much going to say that I'm going to try to get some sort of indication that I broke through to Milla in some kind of way. I want her to talk and open up in some way. Maybe just admit that she's feeling better or that she wants to go home. Abraham would accept anything. He's got her out of a situation, got her away from people, put her in a position that is completely relaxed, and that's the whole idea. Looking around the bar looking for someone big and strong looking. Okay, gotta make an insight check to see if she's trying to pick a fight.
You can.
Nope. Sorry, I don't want this to be a whole big thing. Just
no, but I don't want to ignore your character growth either. I'm trying to help you develop your character.
So I'll say you do, because there's dockhands here, so there's several thick. There's a couple young stupid thick boys, but then there's a couple of those right, beer gut, but lifts 50-pound boxes all day every day, just tree trunk guys in the corner. So is Milla gonna try to start something?
Once she's found the biggest looking guy there, just the biggest, most brutal looking guy, she's gonna take the shot that she's been given, as in drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Just in one go, grab the beer glass, and go, I hope you don't like this place too much.
Because of my insight check, I'm going to play this whole thing like Gobs has just got me by surprise, and whatever she's doing, I don't realize what she's doing until she's got the thing in her hand and she's on her way to go do it. Oh, what's that? Yeah, society suck. Oh, what are you? What,
And throw it at the guy.
All
just
right.
Unprovoked violence at this point.
So, cutscene to 20 minutes later, as you guys are being thrown out, bloodied and beaten a little bit. There's curtains that are on fire from some spell casting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, lots of spell casting.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you spend your spell slots. It's just for story wise. There's some yard arms were actually there, so they handle it. They actually beat up both groups pretty good, and then make you guys separate. But yeah, you got yours in, but you took a pretty good beating before being thrown out. Both of you. Even Roscoe. Roscoe's one of his eyes is a little swollen, but he's chewing on a bit of somebody's cheek that he tore out.
He's a good one, guy. Roscoe, appreciate that. Just nurse our wounds, and I hit up the equivalent of another bar just to grab a bottle and stumble our way home.
Okay, to your home or to Othokent's?
Wherever Milla feels like going. This is a therapy session for Milla.
Yeah, Gobs, where are you guys going? Are you going back to Othokent's?
So once they've been sort of kicked out of there, still just lying in the gutter,
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna let out a very relieved sounding laugh. I can't recreate that.
Hmm. Oh, we having fun over there, are we? Yeah, blood clot.
Yeah, definitely feels more normal now.
Hmm. Pain will do that. Bring you back to the real world. I wasn't going to suggest getting into a fight, but I knew it worked too.
Oh, this is how I deal with things, and it works. It works great.
Until it doesn't. You gotta be careful. He was big. Couldn't you choose somebody a little bit smaller? With less friends.
I had no
He had a lot of friends.
Yeah, I had no intentions of winning that.
Yeah, that's why I helped you.
I was half expecting to not walk out of that one.
And that's why I helped you. Well, come along. We got another bottle to get, and we gotta get home. Where is home, anyways? I kind of got turned around. I don't... What alleyway am I in?
This is... How did we end up in Mouser's Alley?
Was there a scuffle on the way out, or did they just throw us out? Everything's spinning a little bit.
I think they just threw us out the nearest door.
That's what I thought too, but we're across the street now. I'm so confused. Let's just go home. Where's home?
Let's.
We stumble our way through the streets.
To which home?
Milla's leading me. She's less drunk.
Yeah, she is gonna just pretty much just be walking wherever she fancies at this point. She is remarkably unbound.
Percentile dice, high or low. Abraham's place or Othokent's place.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Roll percentile for us, Milla.
Just roll a d10.
That works.
That works too. All right, so high was whose?
Oh, I was just giving you the idea of letting you pick.
High
right.
Otho, low Abraham.
That's probably how it did come out of my mouth.
So we'll shift back to the other group. Shift back to the other group. So you guys make it back to Otho's place.
I mean, we were currently having a conversation, and just when I started to say something, I got cut off.
Sorry
I'm
about
sorry.
that.
That's my bad.
So, as Othokent said, I believe it is best we wait for the others with this, just in case, because Abraham does have greater arcane knowledge than I do.
You're probably right.
And it's not because I'm downplaying the importance of this. It's because I'd rather be well prepared.
No, I agree. I'm just... Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Yes. We'll wait.
So, yes. Should we head back to the clinic? I can show you how some of the alchemical tools and such work if you'd like.
Sure.
You are allowed to say no if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. I just don't have any knowledge in that regard. I've only seen Talah use a herbalist kit.
Ah. Well, then I can teach you some. There's also a section in your medical book about it.
Okay.
Awesome. So you guys make it back to Othokent's, and you are tinkering. Good Lord, I cannot talk today. Tinkering around in the alchemy lab. About an hour after you guys get started, you hear a calamity, is the best way to describe it, fall through your door as half laughing, half crying. Both Milla and Abraham are somewhat buzzed, laying on your the floor in your front room, giggling and bleeding a little bit.
All right, Nathaniel, just continue what it says on page 345. I'll be right back.
Right. Now, how the heck?
As a side note, don't actually check mark off the healer's kit you used on Gob's mom.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go out into my assume smashed entryway at this point.
No, we just fell in the door.
Is this even a real
It's one of those.
word?
We opened the door and we stumbled over each other and we're just on your.
All of it is real, my friend.
Abraham has mounted the Gobx.
It's more than likely she fell on top of me because I'm the heavier one and the drunker one, and so I fell over first.
Yeah, so
you went
he's like face first, and Gobs is back first on top of him, and they're just kind of giggling and crying a little bit.
Hi,
So-
Otho.
Hi.
I told you I'd make her better. More blood clots.
So you went out to get a drink, enjoy your time, get over all of this, and you come back.
I started a bar fight.
Quiet! You come back beaten, bloodied, and with shards of glass sticking out of places I don't even want to start describing.
Yeah.
So let me guess, that is not a bar you have been banned from.
Actually, not banned, no. Just kicked out.
I don't recall them saying banned.
Surprisingly.
And now you are dirtying up my floors, and here.
I waved my hand and cast prestidigitation and clean it up. Yeah, complain too much.
You miss. You cleaned his shirt.
Well, you needed that too.
I thought this was going to be just a fun time, not you causing a ruckus.
Her mother betrayed her and she needed some time away, and you question how things are done.
Yes, I do.
Don't.
I mean, did you beat up someone who deserved it? Did they call you names? Did they try to be aggressive? Did they try and take your wallets?
They definitely called me names.
They were definitely aggressive. Look, it took aggression.
Yeah, just a second.
Did you stop the aggression?
By the way, I'm having fun, guys.
That is completely fine.
Both of the troublemakers, give me deception checks with disadvantage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You don't believe Abraham, and you absolutely know that Milla started it.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt in your heart.
Milla started it. I'm trying to cover for her.
Yep, exactly.
Listen.
Which, give me, with that, I'll give it to you with this insight check, which is confusing to you, but then it's like, okay, wait. No, there's bonding happening here. So you're both angry, I'd say. You're angry, right? Because they're bleeding on your clean floor and creating more work for you. But also with as you're trying to understand emotion and everything, it's like, okay, the rationality of it is striking you in this moment. And you're kind of...
I do also have that kind of thought, so that's what I'm going to...
Okay, go for it.
I know some things have happened. I know you've done things that, at least in the last 2 hours, that are probably not on the best side of eyes and all that. But please, don't lie to me. I'll get you fixed up, just don't lie.
They were aggressive after I threw at last at the biggest one of them.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought happened. Get into the exam room, I'll get you taken care of. Both of you.
Yes.
Nathaniel, do you have that iodine ready?
Iodine stings.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't agree to this. No.
Here.
Oh, wait.
Too bad.
Wait, don't take him in. Into pocket. I have his tooth.
Ah, good. I know how to do amateur dentistry, and I have sedatives.
Roscoe looks at you bashfully and goes, "Squaw." As you notice,
I-
he's been punched at least once.
Oh, well, poor little Roscoe.
I
Well,
didn't
let me
know
just...
you could sew teeth back in.
Here you go,
You
Roscoe.
can't
I'll take
actually.
care of you. Here you go,
He actually
Roscoe.
casts a spell on Roscoe.
Roscoe's
We're gonna
really
get
good.
iodine. He gets a spell.
Well, Roscoe didn't start it. Now, did he?
And neither did Abraham.
Oh, didn't he?
Didn't he?
He did.
Gob's mother started it. Guess who answered it?
So Othokent is going to take care of both of them. Make sure their wounds are clean and stitches are sewn. And they both get a good lollipop afterwards.
Yeah, so you're able to get them all cleaned up. It's now that typical after anime where like the arms are overly wrapped and they've got the butterfly bandages across the eyebrow, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, everybody's back. You guys, your tipsiness is kind of worn off at this point. So the
my
whole
headache. Oh, I shouldn't have drank so much wine.
No, he
Why am I
actually gave
suddenly
you.
Scottish?
No. And you don't understand. This is Othokent. You've had an IV in, getting a drip this whole time. You're not gonna have a hangover. It's Othokent.
That's
No, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's causing me pain on purpose. Ow!
No, it's a lesson. It's a lesson he's teaching you with the iodine. All right, so the
But
whole
those gauze are supposed to be soft. Why are you pressing so hard? Scrape,
I-
scrape, scrape.
I need to make sure I
Oh.
get all of the shards of glass out of your arm.
You're pushing them
Ugh.
down deeper. Aye.
No.
It feels like it.
Didn't I have a big shard of glass in my right forearm?
Oh, yes, you did.
No, as in I had one when we went here. It's gone.
Ha. I'll take care of that.
How precisely?
Put it back in.
Stab.
Oh, you're missing this, huh? Slink.
Is this some new kind of fashion statement? Alright, you should be alright. Oh, to rasp, of course I need to remember that.
What's a rasp?
Don't know what a rasp is.
It's a wood planing tool. It's like a cheese grater for wood.
Ah,
Oh,
But-
that's what a rasp is.
of course.
I mean, if you think it'll work, go ahead. Last time we tried to remove something out of this, it nearly exploded.
Yeah, you know, I think your arm has better healing properties than whatever medicine I try and shove into it. So I still don't think mine's being wrapped at least.
Yeah, it doesn't. As long as you don't try to remove part of it, it's fine.
Good.
So yeah, you guys get cleaned up. Everybody's good. Any drunkenness and soreness and everything, you've had a good laugh cry session, right? You know, Gob. So you're kind of broken out of your catatonicness. You still have those mental wounds that you're going to have to deal with at some point. And maybe
Oh,
address.
No, those get put in the jar, the special jar at the back of the brain. We seal it up tight, and then we never talk about it.
Yeah, but that's where he lives.
Don't
Anyways,
worry, it's fine. It doesn't ever accidentally spill over. It never gets so full that it nearly bursts. That never happens.
yeah, no. The last time it got full like that, it just grew an arm. Anyways, so what are you guys doing at this point?
All right.
So I'm somewhat sober. To be fair, I had one shot. I was sober for the whole thing. Well, no. No, what? No, I had more. I think. Never mind.
Yeah, you had one.
I had one, then got in a fight. Yeah. I think Abraham's the only one who's been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Did Abraham finish the bottle?
Well, if you didn't drink from the bottle on the way home. But he would have been nursing it, but not finishing it.
Oh, okay.
It's got like a dent in it. It's not like half or anything like that. It's just a small.
So, Otho, I owe you at least some work. The, anything anything I can do at this point?
Prestidigation up the mess.
Well, there is
Un-
one thing we need to do.
Unseen servant, any movement around stuff. You know, that
Yeah.
kind of business.
Just
Nathaniel,
anything, really.
feel free to share.
Well, the dowsing rod.
Yeah. I remember that.
Ever since we picked it up, I've been feeling Fey energy, and it's been. I really want to contact the Panas.
I'd say, yeah, let's go for it.
I'm just worried that it might be more than we can chew, and I don't know what it actually does. Maybe Mr. Grissom can tell us more, but are you okay, Mr. Grissom? You need to sober up.
I'm fine. Oh, I'm perfectly fine. I'll be just fine. She got the hiccups. Boo.
Is
Okay.
that out-of-game hiccups or in-game hiccups?
In-game hiccups.
All right.
This is Abraham's responding and trying to cover it up, like any remaining tipsiness.
All right.
We're perfectly fine. So, you're wanting to know what specifically from Abraham?
More than what this rod actually does.
Oh, explain that
What
last
it-
session. Yeah, but we'll go over it again.
It has planar energy.
It has planar. It makes connections. It seems between planes. A dowsing rod would indicate that it locates something, but magic takes many forms, and so does its instruments. So ultimately, well, let me see. Maybe I can pierce through the veil with this, and I start casting into ritual identify on it to see if I can find out if it's going to contact something, or if it's going to, break it. We summon something, or God forbid, we get teleported into the Fey realm. That's what I
So
want to know.
yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, to be honest, because it's got Fey magic isn't quite arcane and it's not quite divine. It's kind of in between.
Mhm.
But you're correct. This is something that is steeped in the Fey magic. So
the presumption that it contacts something or calls out to something is along the same lines as to what it actually does. Is that a presumption that might be correct?
you would think that this is probably something that enables travel between the realms.
Okay. It seems to assist traveling between realms.
Just as a note, remember, you might want to look at the notes from that journal. You guys still have access to it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, while I'm casting Identify, I guess I can just go through the journal. Takes 10 minutes.
Right the rod. Panos will help you.
Is there any more information than what you give us in that one note?
Nope.
Okay.
Well,
We don't know.
I say
Other
break the
than-
rod, find out.
I hand it
gives us a
to
connection to them, but
I hand it to Nathaniel. I've been told that you have the connection to the planes naturally inside you.
well, yes.
It seems to be something that you should do.
Well, if you guys are up for it, I won't force you.
I didn't leave Milla. I'm not leaving you either.
At least I want to make
Also-
sure you don't die in
Oh.
there. So I'm coming along.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, at worst, Gobs, there might be some Fey for you to kick ass on.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Also, I'm more in this to really help you because you've been nice to me, so I want to help you. And I kind of wasted everyone's time, so I feel bad about that. Sorry.
Well, here goes nothing. Frack.
Excellent. So as you
Oh,
snap...
wait, maybe I shouldn't do this inside. Fuck.
No, you shouldn't have. As you snap the rod, it immediately becomes super, super heavy. You cannot hold on to it. It drops out of your hand, and it stands, right? It stands on one of the ends. And that end suddenly breaks open, splits open, and starts to grow roots into the floor, through the tile. The other end of the snap starts to spit out all kinds of shoots, leafy shoots start coming out of it, and a big, thick trunk starts to grow up. And it grows up right to the edge of the ceiling and then takes a sharp left and goes for about 3 feet and then takes a sharpward angle down and gets down and hits the other side of the floor and begins to branch out its roots as well as it creates a wooden tree in the middle of the office.
My foundation.
As the frame of this weird tree hits, the branches start intermingling with each other and growing thick with vines until they're so solid you start to hear them straining and everything, and it looks like a very fibrous, thin vines between the sticks, and then it solidifies and pulls tight. And now there is what looks like a kind of like a birch wood door frame with a door with a wooden handle now in front of you in the middle of the foyer in Othokent's office.
Well, fiddlesticks.
Now,
I'm
Nate,
sorry,
you're Nate. Remind me if I'm unless I'm incorrect. You have the ability to detect portals, do you not?
I just linked it.
Let me look at it. Boop, boop, boom. I'm gonna say as this is doing it, it's overwhelms it. Yeah, hey, there's a portal right in front of you.
Well, duh. I guess it didn't call Panas to us. I'm so sorry. I was a bit eager. I'll make it up to you.
I don't think prestidigitation will do anything about a tree.
I feel like what we did is much less bad now.
Would you like the blood back and this gone? I wink at Otho to make sure he knows it's a joke.
Where's the rest of my iodine? Nate.
I don't think rubbing it on Nate is gonna do anything unless you cut him first.
Draws a scalpel.
That can be arranged.
Look, we'll find a way to sort it out. I'm sure.
I hope you appreciate the influx of emotions you're getting from us. Also, I'm very sorry.
You know that anger you're feeling? You're welcome.
Let's just get through the goddamn portal already.
See, what you're feeling now is called unbridled rage.
Pretty soon you'll be able to bridle it.
Yes.
Let's just get through the damn door.
Yeah.
How do we
Pulls
open
out
it?
his bow and walks through.
How does it open?
There's a handle. There's a doorknob. It's wooden.
Oh, it's a wooden door. Oh, so it's a literal wooden door, not like
It's a literal
walks
wooden
into the
door.
door.
not a bound portal like Sigil. Okay.
Yeah, no. As the vines stretched across to each other and they started just lashing so Close. They started
Tightly.
pulling tightly, and it formed into a solid piece of wood. It's a solid wood door with a raw birch wood door frame.
Nice. When he opens it, what do we see?
You see that we're going to take a break because I have to pee.
All right.
All right.
See everybody in 5.
Mhm.
See?
Shot your mom.
Yeah, I appreciate
I
that.
almost did too. I really wanted to.
Well, why didn't you?
I wanted to throw out the
Because-
window.
Nate is too good of a little boy.
He's a goody two shoes.
You actually have good on your alignment?
Yes.
No.
Wait,
Should have done what me and Milla done and put neutral.
Well, he's neutral good.
Oh.
mm,
I decided to go both neutrals.
neutral.
Neutral.
True neutral.
The best
Yeah.
neutral. The best alignment. I'm surprised he didn't think that we would do something about being mocked.
Well, I do feel like we're gonna stumble upon those guys more,
Mm-hmm.
and they will very much regret it.
Mm-hmm. Or will regret it. Either way, I'm not backing down.
Well, either they die or we die.
Like I said, I'm not backing down.
Well, we'll find out eventually. Right?
Shooting someone is gonna seem so kind.
I mean, you can also just throw a glass in their face,
Hey, I did that.
you know, while they're minding their own business.
Oh yeah. Milla did that specifically to get beaten up.
Well, yeah, that was obvious.
Yeah.
Does she truly feel better now?
No. So much worse.
She
So,
would
to-
only feel better after the blood is on her hands, washed out in a long rain, and then a solid drunk for a solid week, and then a massage, a good fuck, and a cigarette and a sunset. Then she'll feel better.
Not necessarily in that order.
All at the same time?
No, these are all in steps.
Yeah, but you know, the order is interchangeable.
Nice. Nexus.
yeah, that manhwa has so many good quotes.
Wait, what? Which manhwa specifically? Oh, there.
Wow.
Well, he did. Doc doesn't pay attention to Discord posts.
No, I usually don't.
We have to tell him to look at Discord.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
We don't want to bog down all of our jokes in the Roll20 chat.
Lesson the hoo-ha.
Well, he said glass in places he didn't want to mention, so I
Yeah.
mentioned it.
They got aggressive after you tossed the glass. Yeah. They did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did.
So Abraham wasn't lying. They were aggressive, just not
Mhm.
from the first second.
I really don't know why I had to roll deception. I told the truth.
You did tell the truth, but only part of the truth.
Half truths are the greatest of lies.
Also, the one about the 4 party members. Yeah, I'm absolutely the fucking.
Trash opossum.
Yeah. Yeah, Nate. I can see some Nate energy in the pizza stealing cat. And yeah, Otho's definitely the fire lizard.
No,
The
no,
lizard who suddenly awakened.
the cat is eating the pizza because it's sad.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Nate is a sad little ball. A little ball of sadness.
I love good wordplay insults. Good ones, not just wordplay insults in general. It's gotta be good ones. Clever.
Ragelin.
Ragelin. Dude, you don't even understand. If I had stopped taking my medicine back then and it felt normal the way I do now, I would have torn down that city. I would have tried.
Nice.
Well, get back on your meds. I want to live.
No. The friends are fine. Friends are safe. Just don't be in front of me.
The thing is, I'm not your friend yet.
Well, you better be friendly.
This might have
We'll
helped.
see. Might have? Pretty
it-
sure she
Depending
would've.
on what is being torn down.
The corrupt and useless power structures that did nothing while people suffered.
Wait, which
I'm in.
ones?
Just
Wait,
talking
what?
about. I was just saying, like, she said Ragelin, as in like
Yeah.
Magelin, but with rage. And I was like, dude, if I felt the way I did now back then, Magelin would have been role played into trying to tear down the city.
Oh,
And
I could
a lot of
totally.
that stuff I backed down on just because I didn't feel like doing it. Now I don't have that restriction in my feelings.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna do some tear down the city thing, I'm down.
We built this city.
Built this city on corrupt assholes.
I
Well, to
didn't
be
know
f-
how I thought you would finish that, but I like the result.
To be fair, now Sean is one of the corrupt assholes who's in that.
No,
But is he
I
corrupt?
know what's happening to the city of Gilgamesh right now. I don't know if he's told you anything, but I know. And
Not
We
a
know
lot.
nothing.
Nope.
So
I
yeah.
know other stuff,
I
but
just remember that it ended with Sean taking over the secret police.
All right, I'm back.
That means you are the man if Sean is in charge of the secret police.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. No, I was agreeing with you by saying that. Yeah.
well, DM is back, so I'm going back into the void.
Yay!
You've
See
been
ya.
banished to the shadow zone.
All right.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
So Abraham's here. Doc, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nobody else left.
Other
Just
Doc,
you.
are you here? It was just me. Okay, I'm the only one who had to pee. I see how it is.
Yeah, I
Other
drink coffee
doc.
too.
Who's the other doc?
The doctor who's
Dr. Othokent?
Othokent.
Oh,
All right. So, as you go to reach for the door handle to open it, who was up front?
I was gonna have Nate do everything.
Nate,
Nate.
as you go to reach for the door handle, it's jerked open. And you get a pitchfork shoved in your face. Who's in my closet? Where'd my waistcoats go?
Ow!
Shoved in his
As-
face as in like he's stabbed?
No, like it's put up in his face.
Oh, like a gun in his face. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and you see a surly, little pudgy satyr with a pitchfork as you can glance through the door and you can see his living room.
Oh,
and no
Hello,
Swickle
sir.
Clay?
I'm sorry. I am Nathaniel Pippin.
I don't know who that is.
No. Are you Panos Wiggleglaze?
Well, seeing that you're in my closet, I assumed you'd know who I am.
You know
Oh,
someone named Marius?
Yeah, I know Mary. You've
Where are
been
you?
dead for 6 months.
Yeah.
You the one that killed him?
No.
And he goes and reaches out to me for help, and now I got some weird half-dead chick sitting out in a pond, and what am I supposed to do with a dead chick?
Wait,
What?
you do what?
Yeah. He sent word to me. I went and got the Soul of Summer, and she sent me with some of her troops, and we went and beat up her ex-husband's troops and stole this chick that was stuck in a piece of ice. And then they threw her in a pond. And now I've been stuck with it because somebody went and killed Potemkin. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to do with a really weird green lady? Right? I mean, well, I don't need a lawn ornament. What am I supposed to do with her?
Was the one you're looking for green, Nate?
Yes, I'm looking for Talah. Do you know Talah? Is it Talah?
Well, she's not the talkative type. I've tried to, introduce myself a few times, and I tried to get a little friendly, but the nymphs, oddly enough, won't let you play with her skirt anymore. Not after last time. So, I don't really know her name.
Hey, you don't want to know what satyrs are up to. That's just.
She's a half-orc, loves plants.
She loves naps, as far as I can tell.
Has a white streak in her hair.
May we perhaps go look, dear Mr. Friendly Satyr Man?
Maris Potemkin died.
So you show up in my closet, and now I gotta go on a trip with you. How am I supposed to do that? My waistcoat's gone. What'd you do with my waistcoat?
I imagine
You expect me to go?
magic portal.
You expect me to go walking through the forest with my hairy nipples just hanging out? Is that what you expect me to do?
I don't know, sir.
Well, it's a manly chest, so.
Yeah, look, I like this one. Hey, you guys been drinking. Did you bring me some?
I got a bottle right here.
Give me that bottle. He takes it and takes a big old swig of it, and like in a single swig, however much was left in the bottle is now gone. Even if it was full, it would now be gone.
The drinker side of Abraham is impressed.
All right, fine.
Yeah, I imagine that he actually reached in to do that.
Reached in what?
You reached in through the portal? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Like that Panas had to reach out.
Through the doorway? Yeah.
Yeah. So Nate very much wants to run past.
Oh, you're gonna run past him?
He's desperate to
Yes.
get to Talah. He's chomping at the bit, is what he said.
All right, go for it.
Nate, stay calm.
So you're able to get past him just fine. You run into a room. It's round. It's very round. And you're in a living room. And to your left is the hearth, which is kind of the central. And then it's almost like the entire home is round. And you can see a kitchen, and then you see another doorway that goes back to what is probably a bedroom or a bathroom. And you're literally stepping out of a wardrobe.
Yep.
Well, excuse me very much. Where are you going?
I need to find Talah. Show Panas the frigging journal. Whatever. Something.
Look, we'll get you more to drink. Just please help him out.
You need to relax, all right? She's not exactly quick on her feet. She ain't going nowhere. Let me...
Nathaniel, calm down.
Nathaniel is just running through doors, trying to get out.
You've run through, like, you ran into his bedroom, which ran into the bathroom, and you ran into, like, nowhere else to go, so you've run back out, and you do see a front door. Are you going out the front door?
Yes.
Is
Nathaniel.
anybody going to... Are you hearing anything?
No.
You open the door, and you just see... Imagine if you were in a forest where everything has been like landscaped to where there's just perfectly cut, very bouncy, springy grass everywhere. So it's like a forest paradise. But all you see is a forest out the door. There's not a road or a pathway or anything like that. Oh, and your senses are absolutely overwhelmed. As soon as you stop and think for a half second, you're hit and almost dizzy with all the senses from being able to sense the Feywild because you are in the Feywild.
Yeah. I can imagine I freeze at the door. Just, whoa. I don't see a pond.
Yeah, it's not here, dumbass.
Just please take him to it. We'll get you more alcohol, something. Just please.
The girl's
all right,
apparently his friend.
you don't say, right? Jeez. All right, give me a minute. All right, I've got to go. Let me put on a shirt. All right, I've got a shirt from the last time me and Panos went to the Seven Heavens. So give me just a minute. All right. And he walks into that bedroom and then walks back out wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Right,
Nice.
full on Hawaiian shirt. And he goes, "All right, let's get going. I'll take you to the court of summer. You better, hey, look." He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times. And then he goes, "Now listen, all right? The soul of summer has been nice enough to take good care of your frozen lady, all right? And I think most of it's because she just doesn't like her ex, which nobody does. So that's not surprising. But, you're microwavable woman, all right? You just need to behave yourself and don't piss her off. Because the soul of summer is nice and warm and inviting, but she can also scorch you to death. Do you understand me?"
Yes. I'm sorry.
I bring this up because much like the sun, she is not really discerning about where she shines her wrath. So I would prefer not to be standing next to you if you are intended on pissing her off. You got that?
Yes.
Well, be nice, and we'll go get your popsicle bride back, all right? Let's go.
Do I need to bring a straight jacket?
Well, then you don't need a queer jacket, I'll tell you that much.
That's actually kind of funny.
Sorry, I couldn't help that one. Anyways, so yeah, he takes off, and as he's walking, he's just talking and doing his little jabber and pointing out things, and every once in a while, a strange creature like this cat lion thing comes out that's kind of got the face of a human, and he shoos it off and tells it to go away, and throws a rock at it, and the thing kind of bounds off and stuff like that. But you guys do travel, and you get near. As you start to get near where you're going, you start to hear running water, right? And you're kind of you're kind of near a creek that slowly becomes a river. And as you come up, you start to notice this large. As a side note, when you guys left, if you looked behind you, you would have noticed that his house is a tree trunk. Okay. So his house was a tree trunk. That's why it was round. But as you guys are walking down, you start to hear it, and then you can see it. You can see this large elm, or not elm, like weeping willow, sitting on the edge of a cliff over these gigantic waterfalls. So these are the falls of summer, which is the home of the soul of summer. So as he walks up, you start to see more people, as you could call them, various fake. I'm sorry.
Is photography allowed here?
Well, the people around here can be a bit fickle, so you're kind of rolling the dice on that one.
I want a picture of the falls.
Oh yeah, take a picture of the falls. Yeah, that's probably okay. I just wouldn't take a picture of, like that guy, and he points over to a centaur. I was like, that guy especially. His name's Steven. My name is not Steven. It's Steven.
Sorry, Steven.
It's not Steven. It's Glathor, the Destroyer. No, it's not
Hi,
Steven.
Glathor the Destroyer? Why do they call you the Destroyer?
I break things like chairs when I try to sit on them.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you look mighty strong.
But as you guys begin you take your picture, and as you go up to the lead door where there are multiple guards, you start to see just pure fey creatures, which are very elven. Like if you took elvenness and turned it up to 12, that's what a lot of these guys look like. Panos goes up and talks to him for you and points and whatnot. You can overhear one of them say something about what he's wearing, and he's like, "Look, all right, they came in through my closet." And one of the guys is like, "Oh, tell me about it. It happens every other Tuesday for us." It's like, right, I'm going to start having to store shirts in a different place, like in a bucket or something. I've never had anybody show up in a bucket before. Just Fey things that they have to deal with.
Please tell us the next time we show up here, it is from a bucket.
Look, I haven't planned that far out.
Specifically his shirt bucket.
Yeah, specifically his shirt bucket. So as you guys go in, you start to go through a hallway that is all wood, and it looks like a hallway that was naturally grown. And you know how like they'll shape trees to have bends in them and different shapes in them? It looks like that as you go through here. And you enter a large hall. At the other end of this large hall, you see a second and a golden tree and golden leaves with silver bark that has been grown and shaped into a chair, into a throne. And sitting upon it, you see this large feminine shape. She's very, very tall. And as you come in, she does stand. She stands close to 13 or 14 feet tall. And as she moves, it's very graceful. She has sun-kissed skin and this long, flowing hair, the color of golden wheat. As she walks through it, the light hits her eyes, and you notice that they sparkle like diamonds. Her smile is very warm and inviting, but there's a sense to it, right? Kind of like if you see a wolf, right, as beautiful as it may be, there's a sense of danger seeing it. You kind of get that feeling as this beautiful, I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's just an impressive creature comes striding towards you. She says, Panos, I understand you've brought some planar creatures, some prime material world creatures here to see me. Yes, ma'am. These are the friends of our frozen girl out there in the pond. Ah. So, you're the ones that my former husband stole the girl from. Who is she? That he wants her so. No need for bowing, little one. Come. Share with me so I can understand.
I don't know if there's anything particularly special, but she is Talah, a childhood friend of mine. Many years ago, she encountered some Fae, and then suddenly she was gone some months ago.
Interesting.
I don't know what his plan is.
Well, oftentimes he just likes to take things away from people. He feels that's his job as winter.
I'm afraid there's a lot to it, because it might also have something to do with me and the mark he put on my back.
May I see this mark?
Yes, give me a minute, and just undresses the top layer.
That's so like him. Not even taking the time to do his penmanship properly. May I? And as she holds out a hand towards you.
Well, I guess.
She puts her hand, which when her fingers extend, can touch both of your shoulders at the same time.
Oh,
and she runs her hand down your back to the small of your back. And I would say Othokent for sure sees this. Gobs, you can tell me if you think you would be behind Nate. So anybody behind Nate would see this. But she runs her hand down his back, And as it gets down to the small of his back, you notice all of those scars and the markings from the Heart of Winter are gone. And then when she moves her hand back up across his back, there's now a golden light running through the uppermost layer of his skin, and there's a new symbol in its place. This one isn't that sharp staccato of like knife wounds through the spine and back. This is more curved and naturally elegant, like flowing water and things like that. For our dear friend Abraham, who can see and understand runes, this simply says the soul of summer. So, Nate, now instead of having the scars across your back, you now have a literally golden shining, like light, golden yellow light tattoo underneath your skin.
So he's got the metallic tattoo.
It's not metal.
But it's
not metal.
Does it have the metallic effect, though? Does it look like it's shining in the sun?
It looks like an LED strip under his skin.
Oh.
Like, I'm trying to think of a good example of it. All the ones I can think of is like when Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time. It's that brilliant golden glow. Or the sun fruit from the DuckTales cartoon. It's the only other thing I can think of. It's that kind of glow that's underneath the skin. So it won't shine like through your clothes or anything like that. But it's that instead of all the scarring you've had. She goes, well, that should dissuade him. Plus, it'll... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Or piss him off. Or it'll piss him off. Why can't I not escape this Scottish accent?
I don't know, Scrooge.
He seemed very intent on extracting some kind of joy out of the pain he caused.
It's so silly of him. Back in the olden times when he wasn't what he is now, he used to be able to just... There are so many joyful things that happen during the winter, and rather than take the quantities given to him there, he feels... Well, ever since I stopped necessarily being interested in him, he wants to steal joy rather than be given it. And that's the only warmth he can get, the only warmth he can feel, since he no longer feels my warmth.
Why did you leave him? Why cause all this pain? Not saying you didn't have a good reason, but why?
Oh, summer can be fickle.
But that's it?
It is in my nature.
Abraham?
No, he's contemplating. He's like,
Some things you'll learn just are as they are because they are.
He knows he's talking to us. It's essentially a piece of the universe, and it's just he's just considering things.
But yes, dear Panos came to me and told us of this excursion that my ex had done to gather this girl, and we went and intercepted her, if nothing else to annoy him. But also, I learned that as she was placed here, and as we began to do what we could to revive her, she's very close to my cousin.
Your which cousin?
She just smiles at that.
Cousin?
Awesome.
Here, the issue of removing her from the ice she was trapped in was no matter. We have her in one of our shallow hot springs. However, despite the heat and warmth of the water, while the ice is removed, she still remains cold. Here, I'll take you to her. And
Yes,
she
please.
walks over to a side chamber door and opens it. And you can see there's a little bit of probably about 200 or 300 feet of grass. And then it starts to turn to kind of stony land. And then there is, beyond that, you can just see steam. You can't really see anything in it. As you get closer, the Spirit of Summer actually reaches her hand down to you for you to take her hand, Nate.
Takes it.
And as she just smiles to you, and her touch is warm. Like, I don't. This is gonna sound dumb, but it's the best way I can think of to explain it. Have you ever been like in, say, a room where the sun's been shining on the carpet, and then you
Yes.
lay down on the carpet and it's super, super warm?
It's great.
Yeah, it feels like that. So it's gentle. You can tell, obviously, there's a lot of strength in this being. And she walks with you, and something you may or may not notice, but the others will probably notice, as she's walking with you, her size does shrink so that she's a bit more manageable in size. So by the time you get to the edge of the pond, or of the spring, she's probably about 7 feet tall now. And she goes, "Well, there she is." As you look out into the pond, you see her. You see Talah. She's laying on her back with her hands folded across her stomach. Her hair has been undone and it's just free floating in this hot spring behind her, above and around her. So her hair is all splayed out around her. Lily pads all around. You can actually see small fairies that are flying back and forth. She's been decorated with flowers of various kinds as she just lays there. You see, obviously, she's green, but she's a very pale green. Her lips are blue, cold to the touch, as she lays in this, mostly covered in water, in this hot spring. What would you like to do?
We by her side, or
You're at the edge
Working.
of the pond.
can I go out to her?
Of course.
Then Nate will climb into the pool.
It's only about knee deep for you.
Yep.
At first, as you start to go out, you kind of sink more and more up to about to your nipples, because nipples is a fun word. And when you get up to about where she's laying, you'll notice there's kind of a underwater stone table, and that's what she's laying on. So she's the water is just below, like just past her ears. So like her nose, her mouth, and eyes are all
Yeah.
above the water. Her toes, her hands, her boobs, all that good stuff. But everything else is below the water line in this hot, and it is hot water.
Well, as he gets closer, he will silently start crying, tears rolling down his face, and stand next to her and look over her. I finally found you. Now I can bring you home. I don't know what he's done to you, and I don't know if you'll wake up. And he's gonna put his hand on her arm and get a what's it called? Just a slight caress.
Okay. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Saving.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Talah.
Yes.
It's been just so cold. So very, very, very cold. You don't remember warmth. You don't remember anything except being afraid and being cold. Would you do me a favor and give me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Sure. Oh, I don't know why it's on that.
So, for those of you who are outside of the spring, you see your friend wade out to the motionless girl. You can hear him whispering and beginning to cry, but she is still showing no signs of life. Is there anyone who is going to go in and help your friend?
I'll do what I can.
Okay. Othokent, you slide into the water. You're a little flustered at first because outside of being, sitting under a sun lamp, when that one time you tried to give yourself a tan just to see what it would be like, you've never been this warm before. But you're able to get up there next to it. You kind of examine Talah, just kind of look her over, and I want you to give me a medicine check.
Alrighty then.
Medically, there's nothing wrong with her. There's no wounds. There's nothing like that. You feel for the pulse, and it's there, but it's very, very weak and incredibly slow. Almost like if it was a fellow lizard folk who had been left out in the cold, right, and they've gone into hypothermic hibernation, this is what their pulse would be like. And you're looking at it from a very analytical, medical point of view. When you look up and you catch sight of your friend, of Nate, and the tears running down his face, the anguish he has, and your heart breaks, which is so strange because I don't have emotion is so alien to you, but you begin weeping as well. You lay your hands on the girl as well, and your tears begin to drip upon her. Only your tears are different. Your tears are golden, infused with the divine energy that you channel. Talah, give us another Constitution saving throw with advantage this time.
Well, this is going great.
So as your tears land on her hands, you see them, those golden tears start to run down her arm and her hand. And where those trails of tears roll through, the pale green becomes vibrant. Right? Like the difference between a forest that's been covered in ice versus a spring first budding in color on her arms and hands where your tears are laying. For our remaining two on the shoreline, you can now see both of your friends standing over this lifeless girl crying. Who will either of you go out and help your friends?
Yeah, I think Gobx is gonna walk out.
As you dive in, again, you're not used to such warmth. You're used to cold baths, cold showers, not having the thickest of clothes whenever it is winter time, so this warmth is a bit off-putting to you. You've not felt a warmth like this in a long time. You have to actually swim a little bit because of the depth of it, but you pop up next to Nate, your oldest friend. And you see this lifeless orc, and it's strange for you because you've heard so many tales of Talah. And there she is. This is that fabled girl who dragged Nate halfway across the forest and back, who had so many laughs, and you're always wanted to meet because you know she's got so many stories you can embarrass Nate with. How will you assist in trying to get Talah to wake up?
First, she's just gonna put an arm on Nate, like, not sure if I can do anything, but if this thing is really magical, I hope it got something for this.
Give me a spell casting, like a spell attack roll.
Oh, I could do that. That is +5. 12.
As you put your left arm around Nate and kind of squeeze him tight, you don't realize it, but the right arm has moved on and is caressing the cheek of Talah, and the black darkness of the fingers begins to leak onto the side of her face, travels inside of her nose. Her face, Nari, jeez, travels inside of her nose, inside of the ear. You see these, what look like dead branches of a tree, start to climb and go inside of her nose and inside of her ears and inside the tear ducts. And you see the lungs lurch as icy water pours out of her mouth.
I don't know what it's doing, but it looks like it's helping.
Talah, give us another Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Come on, roll 20. Give me a win here.
Othokent, the pulse is starting to pick up. You can actually detect a little bit of breathing, which, as you look up through your tears, you start to see the thing that is Gob's right arm is actually from inside the body doing CPR, as if it can sense Gob's desire for this one to live. The body starts to turn a more green color. The lips start to return to their natural rosy state. There's still something missing, though. There's something that's keeping her, that final kick, from her coming conscious. Abraham, you see all of your friends surrounding this girl, and all of their efforts seem to be making progress, but there's something missing.
Please, I have something that I want to do, Soundscreen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean this in the most pragmatic way possible, and I'm not trying to be crass at all, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Starts. Robes are heavy when they're wet, so he just doesn't want to go in there. Fine. He starts pushing his way into the water. And when he gets up to her, oh, come now, guys, it's not so bad. I mean, just look. And I brush back, like, say, loose hair in front of her face. And the intent is to pick her up out of the water and carry her to the shore. And bring her, in essence, back into the fold of humanity out of this Fey realm magic that's entrapping her is kind of an idea that's in his head. It's like, she's ensorcelled in a way. Let's do everything we can to get her up and out and back home. And that's the intent. He's not being crude or crass by just grabbing her and lifting her up. Just get her out of here. He's doing it gently, and he's thinking, "Oh, come on now, guys, just get her out of this place."
As you put an arm under her to try to get everybody to help you pick her up, you feel the arcane energy in you start to bleed out into her.
Wait, what?
If you remember, Nate had probably told you a story or two about her starting to study druidic type nature. Perhaps that's what's missing. Perhaps she's missing that part of the arcane side of her soul is not awake.
She needs magic. Fine.
How many spell slots are you willing worth of energy you're willing to let her have?
Oh, if you're just talking about an energy drain, I was going to have her cast Unseen Servant and have it lift her out, and then she just absorbs Unseen Servant. But if you're needing an exact number of spell slots, then
yeah, it's going to pull it directly from you.
Okay. She can have all of my cantrips.
Mine too.
That is technically endless power.
It's endless magic energy.
Right, but it's not the amount, it's the amperage that's the problem.
God dang it. Why didn't we install power conditioners and transformers into our orcs when we had a chance?
Well, she's only half orc, so she'd still be a little bit low on the capacity.
Oh, dang it.
So, question remains. How many spell slots?
I will. This is the end result. I will retain 1 slot of each, dumping 1 second and 3 first.
1 second and 3 first, so 5 in total.
Well, I mean, 1's a second level slot, so
right.
6.
So that you add the numbers together, it's 5 in total.
Yeah, I see what you did now. Math's wrong.
All right, Nari, give us one more Constitution saving throw with advantage and add 5 to it for me. You can roll it, and then we can add 5 in our heads where we can do math.
Myth.
23.
23, indeed.
Not the 25 you needed.
Yep, sorry.
You're dead.
All right, that was a nice try.
I have no more magic. I'm getting tired.
Bye-bye.
Talah's eyes begin to flutter. And they slowly open. A full breath, the first full breath she's taken in months. Nari, would you like to describe your character to everybody now that she's awake and among the living again, as she begins to move?
Sure. Talah's an average-build half-orc. She has deep green skin tone. Long dark brown hair, or at least at the roots it's dark brown and then it's fading to a sand blonde. There's one strand of white hair poking through, though. Brown, almost black eyes, and her tusks are poking out like little nubs. Wearing an off-white blouse, big brown belt, and dark gray pants. And a necklace of an orchid petal, which is made from white stone.
So you feel wet warmth all around you, and it's a little disconcerting because the last thing you remember was laying down to go to sleep the night before you were going to leave. So you're like, did I pee the bed? As you sit up and start to feel, and you realize there's a bunch of hands on you. You look immediately to your right and see a weird old man and a giant lizard guy. And you start to panic a little bit.
Tendrils out, pull them out.
As you pull your hand back, it feels like, have you ever picked your nose and pulled a booger and you kind of feel it pull from the back of your skull? It feels like that whenever he pulls his hand away. Or whenever she pulls her hand away.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know how this thing works yet.
And when you hear that, you look to your left and you see a goblin, but then you also see a very familiar face. A little bit more worn, a little bit tired, seemingly older, and a little bit more grief etched than you're used to. But you see Nate. You're in a pond. You don't know why you're in a pond.
Pip?
Talah just hugs
What
her
is
hard
happening?
and just is weeping snot.
Hi. Great to see you. Where am I?
Feywild.
Feywild. What is going on? Who are these people?
They're friends, and over there is she took care of you.
You look
He
over and
rescued
you see the description of the soul of summer, and she's just standing on the edge next to a satyr wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
This just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Now come down. Let's all get out of the water.
It's actually rather comfortable.
Why am I in a pond exactly?
You were cold.
Not technically incorrect.
A frost fae took you from me half a year ago.
Half a What?
Over half a year ago. Longer. Oh dear, how long has it been?
It's been about 9 months.
Thank you so much, Sama.
Oh boy. My dad is not gonna be happy about this.
Considering what happened to
Probably
you,
not.
should probably be feel lucky to be alive. I'm gonna start waddling my way with my heavy robes out of the water. Start squeezing them dry.
Yeah, as you guys are out there, some female fawns start to come out, and they bring out a couple towels. They bring out some clean clothes for Talah, and they like when they hand you the clothes, they then hold up. They've got like the several blankets they're bringing out. They hold up a blanket so that you can change behind it, and they're just glaring at the boys if they try to sneak a peek at you while you change into your clean clothes.
Oh, so if Rob's Lucas, it's fine.
Yeah, and then
You need help? I can help.
I'm good.
man,
Thanks.
you know, taking off wet underpants is never a fun experience.
No, it's not.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
everybody's getting an eyeful of Abraham at this point.
Ever
Yeah,
tried taking
yeah,
off a wet
yeah,
bra? Ugh.
Abraham's doing that old man
No,
in the
I
in the
haven't.
gym. The old man in the gym thing where he's just stripping down and squeezing
Yeah,
everything
Abraham
out dry.
does not give any you know what. So you're getting the full parting of the Red Sea. You're learning why it's nicknamed the Old Testament.
I'm doing the towel. I'm using the between the leg towel floss.
Yep. And but they lay out a bunch of blankets and bring out some picnic baskets that are full of like sandwiches and some light wine, right? Some fresh water, fresh fruits, that kind of stuff. And they actually kind of give you guys everybody kind of goes away and you're have a nice little picnic for you guys to kind of catch up on everything. So I assume everybody. No, so let me ask this: if you want to role play through the introductions and filling her in, we can, or do you guys just want to go and we sit down and we talk for an hour and a half?
We can have some conversation, I believe.
All right,
There's
go for
so
it.
much to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. So everybody's dry, everybody's clean. Talah probably has her hair up in a towel, right? Abraham probably has his chest hair in a towel.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
His beard.
yep. You know, I can imagine Gobs being like, "When was the last time I actually had a bath?"
No, I know when that was. That was
When the
no,
ocean
actually,
fell on
When you
you.
were out,
yeah, that's when. That's a bath, right? It's water.
Yeah, no. But yeah, you guys just
shower.
kind of sit down and have this opportunity to share with each other.
So, you are the, well, very much spoken of, Talah. Pleasure to meet you. I am Othokent. You can call me Opho, or Kent, or Doctor, or whatever pleases you.
All right. Yeah. I'm Talah. Sorry, I'm kind of awkward right now. Um,
It's completely okay. I am a medical professional, cleric of Lavender, and Nathaniel's current employer.
Yes.
you got a job working for a doctor?
Well, I've been working hard to find you and get you back. So
He
I
has.
traveled to Neap, and the professor who was supposed to help me there, he had died in the meantime,
Yeah,
killed by Fey.
that wintry guy didn't want you being found.
And a lot of things happened. Yeah.
Look, Nate's been working real hard to get you back. I can vouch for that. I've known him for a long time, and he's been breaking his back.
Talah just turns to Nate and goes, I am so sorry for all the things I put you through.
I mean, even though it's been way more deadly, it's not that uncommon, is it? And it goes with the territory.
I mean, this seems like a little bit more trouble than I usually get you in.
Indeed. But you were the one who was in the most trouble, so I think it's fair, and we are square.
Are we?
I mean, unless the Heart of Winter comes back and does something more to you or me, then I hope so. I don't know about your father, what he'll say.
Oh, I think we both have an idea of what he's gonna say.
Well, we don't have to rush back. I mean, we're out on an adventure, and just from the walk over here, this place has some crazy plants. You should
What
see
plans
them.
did you see?
That
I
tree's made
don't
of
even
silver.
know.
Wait, my notebook. Where's my notebook? Where's my botanical? Where's my stuff? Just jumps up and starts frantically looking around.
That is a great question.
Sound screen.
It is nowhere to be found.
No. Not my notebook. I need that.
Miss, no, is Panos here? Is Soul of Summer here?
I mean, they went back inside
Yeah, I
before the
imagine.
fawns came out.
Just stay,
Yeah.
just relax for now. We'll talk to them about it.
You don't understand. I need that.
I know you. Well, still, panicking is not going to help. At least not in my professional opinion.
Nate, give me a history check.
Sure.
When she was
Nice.
taken, it was just her. One of the things that clued you into she wasn't just missing or gone off on her own was the fact that her notebook was at home. You have her notebook, dude.
Oh, well, I'm gonna just unpack my backpack and bring out this smaller backpack, like a big satchel, just with her
Yep.
books and
It would be a smaller backpack. That's her bag. That Talah, you remember packing this bag
Mhm.
that night before you went to bed. So he had your bag inside of his bag this whole time,
Okay.
and
Is-
he's
Oh, thank the
never
gods.
opened it. When you open it, you get an immediate whiff of something rotten because you'd packed some fresh fruit in there. And yeah, but yeah, there you find your notebook at the bottom, um, and it does have a few water stains. Some of the pages have run a little bit from that. Nate got drowned in the
Oh
ocean at one point,
man.
so there's only so much he could do about that.
Mm.
But yeah, it's been literally at his side the entire time you've been gone.
I I hope that's everything.
I think so. Definitely packed fresh apples, but given the time you said has passed,
Yeah, 9 months. They've probably fermented.
at this point, yeah, I think they're more like a cider. A
I,
bad
I
cider at that.
yeah, I wouldn't drink that. Give it to
I
Abraham, though.
don't
He
know
will.
if we know Mr. Grissom, are you able
Mhm.
to repair damaged things?
Yes. Just give it here. You have all the pieces.
It's just water damage, I hope.
Tala is very hesitant to give you her books.
Well, what I can repair is breaks and tears and things that are in halves and stuff like that. I could bring them back together with magic, but restoring something from water damage is up to the GM to decide if anything actually does that.
That flawless shift. I love
I
it.
would say you could repair like the actual physical damage, but you wouldn't be able to return the ink or any writings that were on it.
That would make sense. I'll see what I can do. Don't expect miracles. I'm not a very powerful spellcaster at this point in time. He works on
Look,
casting for 1 minute, cast mending on the thing.
Paula, there's something else I want you to notice as you're here and you're absorbing this area.
mhm.
You're not quite sure as to why, but you know you'd started studying your druidic nature and those types of magics and becoming more in tune with saloon and things like that.
Yeah.
Your connection is super strong right now. Like you could effortlessly do things. You can tell. Maybe it was the imparting of arcane energy. Maybe it was some of that divine energy that Othokent gave you with his emotions and his tears. But you feel much more in touch with that side of you than you ever have before. So you can just sense and feel that. As a side note, Othokent,
Mhm.
you can feel like like I said, normally whenever you go to do anything divine, it's like breathing through a filter and things like that. Right now, you do not have any type of filter between you and that side of you. That connection is also very strong right now.
Makes sense when I'm in the court of summer and I'm praising a sun deity.
Well, that and you're just outside the dome.
That too.
Yeah.
So, Tala, I hear you are quite the herbalist.
Well, I just have this big interest in plants and herbs and such. So,
He's great.
I guess.
Well, interest leads to experience. And Nate has told me quite a bit about it. Perchance, once we return to Neap, would you be looking for a job?
Probably. I mean,
Well,
looks at Nate. Do you have the money to get back home?
Not at the moment, but we're working on it.
Well, then, yes, I do need a job.
Alrighty then. Because I do like getting my own medical herbs, but constantly making trips is not as easy as I'd like, and it takes time.
Well, just a fair warning, I'm mostly, uh, well traversed back home when it comes to the plans around there.
Well, of course, I'm not expecting perfection from the get-go, but if nothing else, I can always give you a list of what I need and rough descriptions, and I'm sure you'll be able to follow them for the start.
And I'd be very glad to.
Great.
Need to fill out my notebook, you know?
Great. That is perfect.
Which is done. Here you go. I don't. It's better, but it's check it for the words. I can't guarantee they're there.
I'm gonna
That
check instantly.
Any
It is
words or drawings that were in the water damage spots are gone.
But
But
the
the
pages are
paper
perfectly
is
fine.
pages are perfectly fine. The book itself is fine.
Okay, Talah's gonna directly start refilling the blank spots.
It is also because Neap has a very strict policy on working without permits and all that. Considering I'm an independent business, it makes life a lot easier for everyone involved. Neap is very bureaucratic in that way.
Hmm.
And
I'm not really the bureaucratic type. That's
Yes.
my brother.
that's another can of worms.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not open that. But I'm not surprised that he's not here.
No,
Then
I left. I went immediately.
You didn't tell them?
Well, yes, but
What did you tell them?
I
Pip?
I I mean, the whole thing was obvious, right? And
Pip?
and I just I left a note.
What did the note say?
Just that y- that you were gone, iced over a room and clearly kidnapped. So as your bodyguard, I had to go and find you.
Wait, you're her bodyguard? You never told me that.
Sort of. My dad kind of forced him and his dad into it. Whole different story.
yes, I believe that is. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a real interesting story. You hear this voice, and none of you were able to notice, but Panos is now sitting there, eating. He's got a sandwich in each hand and one of the bottles of light wine in between his legs. He's sitting down, cross-legged applesauce, just munching on sandwiches. Like, yeah, such a tale.
Wait, you know about this?
No, I'm just here for the sandwiches.
Fair.
Oh,
You
Look,
want
enjoy them.
pickles?
I don't mean to rush you, but I'd really like my closet back.
But
Your
that sure looks good on
closet
you.
back.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Steal your closet.
Yeah, they did.
we
How
did.
did
Yeah,
you do that?
we
Like
don't
you?
know.
Hey, just to confirm, you did this by breaking the stick that I gave my buddy, right?
Yes.
yes, he
That's
left it
what
for us.
Yeah, that's the instructions he gave us. Yeah.
Yeah, I owed him one. So now that debt's paid. All right. So when you get back, the stick is gonna shrivel up and die.
What
Oh,
about
don't
the
you
other
just-
sticks?
Don't you just hate when that happens?
What other sticks?
They're not related, Gobs.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I mean, technically, all woods are related.
What, really?
Well, yeah, they're
Technically.
all trees.
Yeah, but like they cousins? Do they know each other? Do they talk?
I mean, none of the nice ones do. You ever have a tree talk to you, just understand. Not gonna be a good time.
By the way, Talah, this one here, the inquisitive one, is Gobx.
Oh yeah,
And,
hi. Sorry about the tendrils. I don't know how they work yet. I'm happy
No,
they
it's
didn't
fine.
kill you.
Me too.
And the man over there is Mr. Abraham Grissom.
Well, hello. You took my magic, by the way. How does it feel?
I mean, I feel a great connection to my own magic now, and to
Good.
Saloon.
And that means that magic was used to revive you, and it should return to me in time. That's good.
I mean, you can have my magic. How do I give it to you?
I don't want that magic. That magic is cursed.
You have magic too.
Ah, well, you know how I kind of dabbled with that whole druidic stuff?
Well, that's awesome.
I mean, I kind of got it to work before the trip, and then went to sleep, woke up in a pond, so I have no idea how much I can do now. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, all of us can do magic, even me. So that's cool.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. Not just an archer anymore, huh?
Nope. Also, I can detect Fey.
Well,
Look,
we're in the
I'm not
Fey
exactly
realm, so
hiding.
I'm pretty sure that I can also point out some Fey here.
No.
Thanos just waves.
Look here. And Nate is gonna pull out the small box with the 9 samples.
Thanos leans over to look. Oh yeah, that's a box.
And open it.
Neat.
And
Oh, it opens. Okay.
yeah. And oh yeah. So all of these are different things. Well, obviously, but you know, like this one is Fey, I'm sure. Right, Panos, sir?
It's a stick.
I mean, are you teasing me?
If I was teasing you, I'd start with your hair. It's ridiculous.
Hey! I taught him how to do that bun.
Oh, well, you suck as a teacher. What do you want from me?
Oh, jeez.
Mm,
Only thing I've ever seen you do good at, girly, is sleeping.
Well, didn't choose to sleep for 9 months?
Yeah, it just comes naturally to you. I understand.
Supernaturally, it me seems.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go drive cars.
Wait, drive cars?
Yeah,
I don't know how to
sorry.
drive.
So yeah, well, sorry, Panos, sir. But thank you very much. And can you please give our thanks to the Soul of Summer?
Yeah, she has a message for you.
Oh.
So she needs you guys to get moving. Soul and song and I'm sorry, hold on. I had to cough. I did not want to cough on you guys any more than I already have. Yeah, she just got word the kids are coming, so you need to get moving. So breath wouldn't be a problem, but Song could. Song is still pretty close to his dad.
Okay.
All right, let's get out of here.
Now, He puts his arm around your waist, Abraham, and he goes, "Now, you want to see somebody gorgeous? Breath of spring, most beautiful creature that exists. Period. She's got her mother's curves, but she's got her dad's kind of angular features. It's just that mix, something else. But Song of Autumn, he's a right bastard. Don't tell the queen I said that. Right.
Does
You
Mr.
said what?
Kind of like live around here? That they're buddies or what?
Don't tell the queen you said what.
Hey, that's my girl right there. I like her.
Uh,
I don't like your
honest.
arm. It keeps saying bad things to me.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Oh, you don't hear his voice?
No.
Yeah, he's something weird. Tell you that much. He's not normal.
Okay. That's concerning.
You speak primordial, right?
No.
And you've got that living in your body. I like you even more. You're crazy.
I didn't choose. What?
All right, get in my closet.
Wait, one thing before we leave.
And he just walks with you guys back to his house. If you do actually want to ask him some questions, you can.
Yeah. I do have
Wait,
one
this
thing.
is Narnia.
Do you have like some sort of fey itching powder, something that's really annoying and never goes away?
I mean, I got the clap from one of those dryads once. Does that count?
Can it be
Can I
transmitted
pay
to
you
someone?
money to give somebody the clap?
Yes, you can.
How do you feel about male dwarves?
You know, I mean, you can get me drunk enough, I'll feel just fine.
What about Loxodon?
Goblins?
With the Luxodon, I'm more of a giver than a taker.
We
What
could
was
also get some rosehip seeds.
Some what seeds?
Rosehip. Those tend to itch like crazy.
I was hoping for making them scratch themselves until they bleed kind of itching.
Well, that stuff burns once it starts itching.
Oh, that's great.
So, when you scratch open your own skin because it itches that much, the burning only gets worse.
Ooh,
Really
perfect,
effective
perfect.
against bullies.
Wow, I liked her a lot more when she was sleeping.
What?
That's scary. Anyway,
Can we get rid of this guy and go back through his door?
yes, please.
Everybody, can we just go?
Yeah.
No.
So he walks you back to his place. You guys all go through his closet. As the
4 sessions in the Feywild.
What? One sec.
as everybody else,
What was that, Nexus?
Yes.
Can Nate just quickly do a sweep of some flowers and herbs?
Yeah,
As
give me a
we
nature
walk
check
back?
as you guys are walking.
Oh no! Why? Why? How?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do
I'm
something
just
involving
taking-
a skill.
I don't know nature. I just take everything.
Well, we're
Hey, you actually find some stuff that Talah's never seen.
Nice.
Yeah,
So yeah, you
that
get some,
was what I was hoping for.
Yep, you find a couple flowers and an aloe relative that you've never seen before. But yeah, so you guys make it back to his house just fine, and he very hurriedly pushes you through and shuts the door. Nate, you're the last one through. Once you step through the doorway, the door and everything withers, like a plant that you sprayed herbicide on, and it just kind of withers, crackles, and dies, and just falls to the ground. So now there's a big mess on the floor, and there's 2 big holes where it did its roots into the ground. But yeah, you guys are back in Neap.
Sad for the person who lives underneath.
Who actually lives underneath?
So,
Stomp,
was this
stomp.
tree a regular thing in your home? Do you want me to make it bloom again, or?
No, I think he wants us to clean it up.
By the way, precipitation says that it cleans away dirt and whatnot, but it doesn't say where it goes. So it's actually
Somewhere
disintegrating and not
else.
even leaving dust.
It's just pouring it into some part of the lawful good
Astral
plane. No, on the lawful good plane, there's some angel who just swept up the floor, turns around, and is like, "Really? I just swept this." And has to start sweeping again.
Is his name
Nice.
Sisyphus?
Oh,
Yes, his name is Sisyphus. That's a good. Othokent, are you here?
Yes.
All right, just making sure we hadn't lost you.
Othokent doesn't feel good. IRL.
It's no. Well, I'm just snotty, but at this point, we've come back, and I see my beautiful, beautiful office.
Hey, give me a second and I'll take care of everything. Well, most of everything. Where's all those pieces of wood and you need cast unseen servant and knowledge to prestigate? You just go deal with things. I'll take care of all of this.
So
I'm going to prestigate. I'm going to unseen servant to move stuff, and I'm going to try to get all the pieces of wood for his floor that broke and mend it back together.
Yep, it takes you a little bit. It takes you about 30 to 45 minutes to do so.
So you hear me fussing and mumbling to myself and occasionally cursing as you're doing whatever you're doing.
So, welcome to the town of Neap, Talah.
thanks. Is this a good
Place-
place to be?
Place
No.
sucks and the
No.
people are worse.
It's terrible.
Wow.
I can show you the world.
It sucks everywhere you go.
I can show you my driveway. Because that's
It's-
all I can afford.
Slimy, shitty, and trashy.
This will get us DMCA'd.
It would matter if we got paid.
Hey, Disney, can you sponsor us if we do a full cover?
Can we please get YMCA?
Speaking of sponsorship,
No,
I'd like to take
no.
a moment to thank our sponsor of today, Disney Plus.
Raid Shadow Ledger. No, sorry.
Beautiful.
Has better animation than She-Hulk.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
technically, so do I, and I can't draw.
Did you hear how much of a scam established titles is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'd still take their money though.
Chinese
so-
money.
Yeah, no, you got a point there. So what else would we like to do? So you guys are back. I know we've got a floor fixing going on. What's everybody else going to be doing?
Here, Talah, I brought all these plants. I took them from the Feywild.
That's amazing. Happily takes them, starts laying them out on a table. If there's a table that's still not broken, you know.
Oh, he's got a full alchemy lab if he lets you in it.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
We know you're gonna ask.
I'm not going to assume.
No, but you haven't asked if you can use it either.
No, but there's been plants and herbs put in front of my face, so I'm just focused on that now. So I'm gonna lay them out on the table and start sketching them in my notebook, and then
Can she use your office? You know.
Or the lab, of course. Just
You
don't
have a
touch the
lab?
microscope. Of course I have a lab. But like I said, just don't touch the microscope.
why not?
Because you're not trained to handle it.
I can handle it.
I can teach you, but don't
but
assume you can
have to
handle it.
charge.
It is an expensive piece of equipment. But everything else should be allowed to use. Come along. I'll show you.
I will follow.
And I'm going to show her my lab with alchemy reagents, blood testing machines, and whatever else the hell I need. Here you go.
All right, so you guys
This
are doing that.
is awesome. I'm gonna start working.
All right. So, is there anything else anybody would like to do today in this day that you guys are in?
No.
Yeah, I do have one thing.
Okay.
It's likely gonna be short, I hope. I don't know. Just finishing up her business in the bathroom, taking a look in the mirror, staring at the arm and sort of just mumbling. Why did you help? She's not expecting a response, but
When you say that, it's almost like it echoes in your ears. The "Why did you help?" You hear it kind of echo in your voice, echo in your voice, echo in his voice. So, why did you help? Why did you help? Why did you help?
no, you're not asking me that. That's... No, we're not doing this. And starts leaving the bathroom at that point.
Mm-hmm.
No. Also, that seems like a can of worms, so not right now. No, with the voices
So
in your
many
head start.
cans of worms.
And once we're done cleaning up, Nate will skitter off, be by himself for a few minutes.
Okay. Is he just wanting some peace and quiet, or is there something you want to do while you're by yourself?
Well, he's gonna find him some peace and quiet, and just allow himself to be happy for a minute, and pull out his pan flute and play.
Give me a performance check.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Okay. Everybody else, give me perception checks.
Yes.
Everyone but Talah hears these light, happy, not overly complex, but still solidly played pan flute music coming from just outside.
Yeah, Talah is too focused on what she's doing.
That is perfect.
Even at the highest bonus, what the hell?
Okay. Anything else anybody would like to do during this day?
There's pan flute music coming from outside.
Yeah.
Okay, what's outside?
Nate playing his pan flute.
Othokent's just gotta be keeping an eye on the honestly rather new person in his lab just to make sure.
There's gonna be a moment where she tries to like look over her shoulder whether you're still watching while she's shuffling closer to the microscope, notices you looking, and then just kind of tries to smoothly change direction, but you can obviously tell what she was planning.
So the afternoon continues through that, because it did take a bit of time to get to and from the Falls of Summer. And you guys, it's early evening. Now, are you guys all going to try to stay at Doc's house?
I feel like at some point Talah's gonna realize, wait, this is a new place. I don't have a place to stay. Hey Pip?
Yeah, what's up, Talah?
have like a house here or something?
Well, I did, but then I disappeared for a month and lost everything.
What?
Yeah, the person who I rented a room from just took my stuff and sold it off because I hadn't been there.
Right. Well, where are
So
you
for now,
staying? And is there another place?
well, I'm currently me and
I'll go get
Gobx
the air
are staying here.
mattress.
I'm sorry, Othokent.
Don't be sorry. I wasn't properly prepared. I'll get a more proper sleeping arrangement tomorrow. But at least for now, you two can share a room, I suppose. That is easier.
Well, I've cleaned up here. I'm going to go home.
Thank you kindly, Abraham.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you notice any other problems, just let me know.
I will. No, for the future, maybe I should hire you instead of the construction company.
I repair things very easily, but I don't build very easily. Well, not yet. I wonder if there is a spell for that. He starts contemplating as he walks out.
Fabricate.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm supposed to do secretary work, right?
Yes.
I've not listened to any messages on the phone since you hired me. I should do that.
Overcast has got a huge smile on his face and sounds like a great idea.
What's that,
To be
Nexus?
fair, we've been very busy.
True. If anyone's angry, do your best to placate them.
I'll try.
I can't demand anything else.
Off I go.
All right. Abraham, on your way back to your home, to your shop, I need you to give me a perception check.
And that's Roscoe.
Okay. You don't notice it, but Roscoe, this is even better. Roscoe notices somebody's shadowing you.
I turn around and spin, like I spin on my heel and just stare and confront.
As you turn around and stare to confront, you're looking into a face that you did not expect to ever see again. You're looking into the face of Kimber.
Kimber! You bastard!
You failure!
You bastard! You left us out there to drown!
Where's the Project 11?
It doesn't exist! It blew up!
He's coming for it, old fool. Where is it?
He's not going to find it!
And that's the end of today's session.
All right.
Nice.
Nari, welcome to the campaign.
Yay!
Yeah, welcome.
Yay!
Yay!
Now let's mess things up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to finally have our full crew together. I'll have to edit my intro to add Talah in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks. Sorry it took us so long to get you in, both over the months and then also today. But it's good to have the full crew together.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So everybody is level 3, just in case anybody missed that. We're all level 3.
Oh, I thought level 17.
No. And we will pick up with the confrontation with Kimber next time. So next week, or here, we'll just pick up on all this next time.
Sounds good.
Yeah.